Hey everybody, welcome back. Another great day, I'm sure, of debates coming up. And as usual, if you're watching this replay on YouTube, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. It helps me out a lot to grow and get us out there and talk some sense into some of these Christians. But here we are again. Just fired it back up for the morning. We are back with the topics that tend to bring out the angry Christians, which I don't know why they want to come on here and show everybody how mad and hollering they are. Well, don't nobody want to be trapped in heaven, we are. Anyway, I'm sure we'll say that again for the day's over with. But anyway, just got her turned on here. We are waiting for the TikTok to start pumping us out into the world. Thank you, stranger. I appreciate the shit out of that. I love the subs. Love the subs. Honestly, I'd rather grow the 2YouTube channel more than this one, but I don't know how to navigate it there as well. I'm too simple. This one makes it easy for me. Gotta love TikTok though, because I mean, it hadn't let us down yet, man. We've had plenty of very entertaining debates up in here to get us through. So TikTok's pretty awesome there. All right, got folks coming through now. And just a reminder, my comments get auto-filtered, and most of the time I have no idea why it's even filtering them, but I do my best to try to unfilter them as quickly as I can, because I've actually yet to see one that I thought was worthy of being filtered this whole time out of thousands and thousands and thousands of comments. Yes, stranger, thank you. I just put the replays of these on there so you can watch the whole thing, or like if there's like a boring part where we sit around for a minute, you can just fast forward to the next person. It's actually kind of cool. You can just fast forward that because you can see people popping up on the panels here, so you know exactly where to go to and stop and all that good stuff. But anyway, undoubtedly, we will get some of the lovely Christians up in here to debate. Give me just a second here, so sorry. I was trying to watch the start mark a little bit on the side here too. Let me set something real quick, and then I'll be right back with everybody here. What does that say? 41 years as a Christian. 51 now. Dang, man. Hey, it's never too late to jump into reality here and see the light. Man, the stock market is rough right now. Not rough for me, but... All right. Alright, sorry. I'm back now. Just getting that a little squared away where I can do some quick shit if I need to. Anyway, welcome in everyone. Y'all go ahead and throw some comments. Tap the screen. Get us out there to the Christian universe for some debates up in here. But anyway, back again with the topics here. What do we got? We got God is evil. Jesus fulfills zero prophecy. And Christians are under the law, are the topics of the day. Undoubtedly, those shift sometimes from time to time, but those are what I got up here, and those are what we're going to try to make them answer to today. They always got answers, don't they? Whether they're good ones or not is completely up in the air. Thank you for the follow. Already got a follow. Thank you so much. Hey, I'm piling up, y'all. I've got over 400 now. I had over 400 yesterday, and I started with 11 followers on this channel. Like 11 people that I knew and was interested in this kind of thing. Ramping up over 400 now, heading toward 500. And we are still growing. Every time I turn this on, we get a bigger overall watch audience. We get more people in. We get more debates. We get more likes. We get more shares. We get all that stuff. It's awesome. Uh-oh. Might have somebody in already. Well, let's see. Bozo Baggins. I don't know. Just The name suggests it might not be serious. But anyway, we'll find out, I guess. Let's see. Loading in.
Good morning. How you
Oh,
doing?
Bozo, you there?
I'm here. Yeah. What's happening?
What's up, buddy? Are you over 18?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. Are you one
Wh-
of the Christ-like, the Christians?
I am. Yeah. So let's chat, shall we?
Yeah, let's do. Yeah, please. You like one of these topics I got up here?
Well, let's see. Let's go number one. Debating a God is evil. All right. Let's start with that.
Yes. Okay.
So
You want me to tell you why I think
explain.
God's evil, or?
Yeah. Let me know why you think he's evil.
Well, because it seems to be doing a lot of evil stuff especially in the Old Testament, some in the New too. But like he unalives David and Bathsheba's infant son. He has 10 of David's wives
Mhm.
raped in front of the entire city for what David did. He slaughters the Amalekites. He passes laws that makes people do horrible, horrible things. Any of those sound evil yet?
Yeah. So essentially, if we go back to the fact that God created a perfect world, and then sin entered into it. He basically gave man free will, after that happened. And
Okay, well, what
I
about
don't
God doing the evil stuff though? I don't mean
I
us. I
think
mean him.
God's a gentleman, and when mankind, whether it be modern man or man in, the days long gone, we have always pushed him away and has said, God, we don't want to follow you. And when that happens, he removes the spiritual protection that allows evil to flourish.
I'm not talking
So
about us though. I'm talking about God. God is doing the evil stuff.
now God is allowing the story to play out, whether we
God is
want him.
doing it though.
Now, God's not doing it. It's
He
Satan
did do it.
alive
He
here on earth.
unalived David and Bathsheba's infant son. He had 10 of her wives raped. He ordered the slaughter of the Amalekites. So this is definitely God doing these things. This isn't us.
But it's a result of all of that is a result of sin. And God is basically
Okay,
sinless.
well, what was the infant that he unalived? What was his sin?
We don't understand why essentially God allows infants to be born with disease and why children suffer. We don't we don't understand it. I mean, the only thing I can tell you is we live in a fallen world and death is the end result of us living in a fallen world.
Why is your God inflicting this death on innocent people, is what I'm asking.
Our view of death is different than God's view of it.
Oh, well, in my view, it's all evil. So, is it not? Is it not evil in your view to unalive innocent babies?
Personally, for me, death would be a pleasant surprise. Like if I didn't wake up
So,
tomorrow,
no, you don't think it's evil?
I think our outlook on what death is much different than how God views it.
Well, how do you view it?
I view Earth as I view our life here on Earth as temporary, and I think that when we when we pass on, when we die, we either go to heaven or we go to hell.
So, is it evil, yes or no, to unalive innocent babies or people?
It is what it is. I mean, it's
Just is what it is.
God.
Is that really your answer
It's,
there?
what's your view of death?
My view of death is that people die. My view of unaliving an infant that is innocent of the crime that it's being unalive for is evil. Having 10 women raped for what one guy did in front of an entire city is evil, in my opinion.
So you admit that there's evil in the world. Let's just get that
I'm
out of
asking
the
why
way.
God is inflicting this, is what I'm asking you.
But you're
How is
ignoring the
it not
fact that
evil that God is doing all this stuff?
does Satan exist in your mind?
No.
Yes or no?
No. See, I can answer yes or no questions.
So you don't think Satan exists.
No, I'm talking about your God. Your God's the one doing this.
But does Satan exist in your own mind?
No.
No, he doesn't. So you
No.
deny the fact that there's evil.
I do think there's evil, and I think your God's inflicting it.
But God has said that it's not him, it's Satan.
Well, the Bible says it is him, so how are we going to address that?
The Bible says that that Satan is alive and real.
What about God? God
God is
made
a
Satan.
God made Satan, true. So you seem to have a problem with the. So I equate life in general as one big epic movie. You happen to be an extra in this movie, and you don't like the script.
No, I don't.
So I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it is what it is.
Well, I don't understand why you can't just answer yes or no. Is unaliving innocent babies evil or not?
The death of an infant, yes, is evil. It's not
Okay,
something
so
that
God
God
is doing
desired.
evil by your own definition and feeling about it, right?
No, he's not. It's Satan.
Oh, oh, okay. Well, it says God did it, not Satan. Satan only
No,
arguably unalives 10 people in the entire Bible. God unalives thousands and thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions.
let's move on to the next prompt. Jesus fulfills
Sure,
zero
but you got to admit
prophecy.
you just lost that one.
We'll give you a
I
point for
want to
that
hear you
one.
say that it's not evil if your God does it.
You're not going to change my mind on the fact that evil exists, Satan is alive and well, and Satan is the source of all evil here on earth.
Who
So
made Satan again?
I wasn't able to persuade you on point number one. Let's move to
I don't
number
think you
two.
convinced anybody that you don't even think that unaliving babies is actually evil.
I have admittedly said it is evil, but it's not God that is doing it.
It says God does it. It says God did this. He said, I will cause this and I will make this happen. I'm using God as the example, not Satan.
Do you believe in God's righteous judgment?
No. I believe that's an excuse people use when God does evil and try to make it sound like it's actually good and loving when it's clearly evil.
Do you believe that the leader of Germany during World War II deserves to be judged?
Deserves to be judged. Yeah, he shouldn't answer for his crimes.
Okay.
How come God shouldn't answer
So
for his crimes?
who's in a position to judge him?
Judge who?
The leader of Germany during World War II.
Oh, the people who actually went and fought him and not the guy who stood around and watched it all happen.
But the leader of World War II is of Germany in World War II is in the afterlife now. Who's going to judge him in the afterlife?
I don't know if he repented, he's in heaven, so.
So Jesus fulfills zero prophecy.
Yep.
Can you prove that?
Sure, but you concede the evil argument, right?
No, I'm not conceding anything.
Oh, okay. We'll have to stick back on that then.
You deny that Satan exists, so there's no point in conceding anything.
Yeah, but I'm saying your God is the one doing this. You refuse to address your God doing this. You keep making it about Satan, but it's your God that's doing this.
It's not about God, it's about Satan.
It is.
So, but
God did it.
we'll give you
Who,
we'll
who
give you a
unalive
point.
David and Bathsheba's infant son and had 10 of David's wives raped? Who said that was going to make that happen?
Yep, God removes the protections that
He didn't
allow
remove it. He
Satan.
caused it. You've read the book, haven't you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So on to point number 2. Can you prove that Jesus did not fulfill any prophecy?
Yeah. Just a second.
Okay, how can you prove that?
All right, just a second. This is God talking here in Samuel about what I was just says. Thus says the Lord, I will raise up trouble against you from within your own house, and I will take your wives before your very eyes and give them to your neighbor, and he shall lie with your wives in broad daylight. For you did it secretly, but I will do this thing before all of Israel in broad daylight. So who is I there? Is that Satan or God?
So it's God talking,
That's right.
and
God is saying, I will do these things. Yeah.
God, when he
It
says
says the
I,
Lord struck the child whom Uriah's wife bore to David. It became very ill. So again, God is doing it, not Satan.
so
And you said
God
it's evil.
removes
So how is it not
he,
evil that when God does this?
he removes he removes his protective angels to allow Satan to go ahead and have his way with whoever deserves judgment.
Just don't say nothing about saving Satan. This is the Lord is saying, I will do this.
So those people were judged. You
Judge
obviously
for
don't
what?
believe in judgment, I can tell.
I believe that when innocent people are judged for other people's crime, that is in fact injustice and evil is what I think.
But who are you? You're not God, are you?
No, I'm just a guy with a brain who can read. My brain ain't very good, but it gets me through this pretty easily, actually. I mean, it
Okay,
clearly
so
says,
what
I
does
will do these things, and it's God talking, so it's God doing these things. Like, that, it doesn't take a genius to know who's
are
doing
you
these
going to
things.
address Jesus and prophecy?
Yeah, I would love to, as soon as you actually address this problem. But
There's
like I said,
nothing
you're
to
going to have to
address.
concede. You're going to have to concede before we move on to the next point, though.
I'm not conceding anything. That God is going to do what He wants to do, and He's a righteous judge. And
Crap, I screwed up. Sorry. My bad, my bad. I hit the wrong button. Sorry, everyone. Hey, please come back up if you're still there. Didn't mean to do that. It was a total accident. I touched the wrong thing on my thing there. We let him get away. Shit. Crap. So we got 10 people watching here. If y'all don't mind, throw a 1 in the chat if you think that guy made a complete fool out of himself with that argument. Please. Or a 2 if you think he destroyed me there. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you. Just let me know I ain't crazy there. All right, so we do have several more people in the queue waiting already, even though I lost him. If he's still there and listening, come on back, man. We'll move on to some prophesy. I love Jesus' prophecies. Not that I think it was going to do us any good. If you can't answer simple questions like that, I don't know what you're going to make a prophecy argument about. Holy crap. Oh, Thanks so much for that. Holy shit. Katrina, thanks so much. I appreciate the shit out of that. All right. Well, let's bring up the next person here. Blueberries. Man, that's fun to say. Let's bring up Blueberries.
Hello.
Blueberry, you there?
Yes.
Awesome. Are you over 18?
Yes.
Are you one of the Christians, one of the Christ-like?
Yep.
Awesome. So, which of these topics do you like to address here?
The first one.
God is evil?
Yep.
All right, cool. What do you want to
So,
address about that one?
are you trying to convince people God is evil?
No, I'm just debating it.
Okay,
So, I guess,
so
yeah. I guess you could say that, sure.
but yeah, you're trying to demonstrate to people that the Christian God is evil.
Yeah, it's not hard.
Okay, so how was your moral framework developed, and how did you come to decide what is good and what's bad?
What?
Yeah, how did
My
you
moral
develop your
framework?
yeah, how did you develop what you think is good?
It's based on consequence and well-being of humans, how we treat each other.
Okay, cool. So, without appealing to what you think is right and wrong, tell me why God's bad. Besides
Oh,
using
well,
I
it
think.
unalives innocent babies. It has
So you're against
10 of David's
abortion?
wives raped for what David
You're
did.
against
Like,
ABs?
punishing people for what?
You're against ABs?
Against ABs?
Abortions?
I'm pro-choice up till a certain point, yeah.
Okay, so you would allow a woman to end a human life?
A human life?
Yeah.
A born one or a
Yeah.
certain
Yeah.
point in a pregnancy?
No, so you would
Here, I'll tell
permit.
you what, I'll entertain this argument you're making here. I actually got a fun little thing just for this today. So I'll tell you
So,
what,
and
we'll
what I'm
entertain
trying
this
to get at
argument.
is,
Tell me which one of these is the human babies that's being aborted. You got a
why
1 in
does it
8 chance of
matter?
getting it right. Can you see these? Which one's the
Yeah.
human? You got a
Oh,
1 in 8
does it
chance of
matter?
getting it right.
I don't
Yeah, it
care.
matters. Tell me which one's the human baby that's being aborted.
No idea.
Wow. So
So,
you don't even know
doesn't
what a human is who's being aborted there.
that doesn't matter.
So back to the argument of God being evil
Yeah,
here. Do you think
so
unalive innocent babies is evil by your own standard?
it's
This is
about
about you
God's.
explaining it, not me. I'm not the Christian.
Yeah, so you're trying to convince me of what you believe is right and wrong, right?
I'm asking you if you believe unalive innocent babies is evil or not.
I think unaliving innocent babies is evil.
All right. So what about when your God does it?
Yeah, our God says that we are conceived in sin and we are
Oh, okay. So it's not evil when your God does it, is what you're saying. It's
no,
evil when we
because
do it, but not when God
because
does
we
it.
have through Adam we are sinners and we've committed
So
injustices
right.
against
So it's
God.
not evil when God does it, right?
Yeah, but God's not killing innocent people.
Well, congratulations. That's called a double standard and special pleading.
No, it's not. So
Yes, it is.
so you're trying to convince me of what you believe is right and wrong
I'm
based
just
on what
asking you. This is debate
no,
thing.
no, I'm just showing that you can't even, you're actually holding the double standard here because you're telling me what is
Oh,
right
am
and
I?
wrong. Yeah, hold up,
I'm saying unalive and innocent
listen.
babies is
No,
always wrong, whether we do it
no, you
or
don't,
your
because you
God
believe
does
in
it. That's my
ABs.
position.
You believe in ABs. So,
What?
hold up. Okay, listen, you're trying to convince me of what you think what is right and what is wrong, correct?
Sure.
Okay, so if I come to you and I say, apostate, I believe what you're saying is right and wrong, okay? You are
Mm-hmm.
now God of morality because you can't appeal to anything
I'm not
as
God.
an
I'm just a guy with
atheist.
my own opinion about these things.
Yeah, and your own
Yeah,
opinion
yeah.
is just what you think.
Right. And your opinion is it's evil to kill babies, except
Hold
when your
up, no,
God
you're
does it.
missing the
Somehow it
point.
turns into love all of a
You're
sudden.
missing the point. Do you have a set
Oh,
of
sorry.
do you have a set of morals and standards society should run by?
I have my own subjective standard of morality, yes.
Cool. So if people believe your subjective standards, you are now the arbitrator of what's right and wrong, correct?
No, I can tell you why I think it's right and wrong.
Why?
That's
Okay,
it.
so tell me why.
Because it's causing harm to someone who doesn't deserve it.
Okay,
That's an actual standard. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
you
so
don't have
then,
that. You have God
yeah,
says
yeah,
it so.
you know that's subjective, right?
We don't have to understand it. Like, that's
Do you
not
believe in
good.
the death penalty?
Depends. I'm a little, I don't know. I'm kind of torn on that.
Okay, so if somebody believes somebody deserves the death penalty and then somebody believes they don't deserve the death penalty, who's right and who's wrong? Because you said
I'm not
you don't
saying there's a
believe.
right and there's wrong. That's why it's subjective, and I know it's subjective because we're humans. We have subjective brains and natures. Like, there's no getting around
Okay,
that.
so then how can
There's
you
no
say
such
God
thing
is
as an
evil?
objective moral
Wait, then how can you say God is
because
evil if
it's
it's all
doing things
subjective?
that are causing intentional harm to people who do not deserve it.
Yeah, but deserving is subjective.
Does an innocent baby who's being unalived because of what someone else did deserve it?
Some people would say yes. If you look at North Korea, if you commit a
Well,
crime,
those people
they
are fucked up in the head.
why?
And you really need to take a look at your
Why?
life and reevaluate
Why?
why you're actually thinking of these things.
Why?
Because you're
Why are
saying
they
it's
wrong?
okay to unalive innocent babies.
Hold up. No, you said you don't believe people deserve to die because they are innocent, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, in North Korea, innocent people get punished for the crimes of their family members, and they
Yeah,
think
and
they
I think
deserve
that's
that.
fucked up.
Okay,
That
why
sounds
do
a
you
lot
think
like
that's
what your
fucked
God's
up?
doing. Because
Outside
they are
of
not the ones who actually commit. That's the definition of justice. It's getting what you deserved. If you commit the crime, you do the time, not somebody else. That's not justice. That's injustice. We have definitions for that.
so,
So
that's your definition.
it's the English dictionary's
Yeah,
definition.
but God's definition of justice is different than yours. Who's right?
So let's just change definitions to make any word we use mean whatever we want it to mean. That'll work out better.
Yeah. So we have to agree on a definition, don't we?
Okay. Is justice getting what you deserve?
Yeah.
Okay. So how is it justice that when God unalives somebody for what somebody else did, that's justice?
Because God says that they deserve that. You
So you
say
just
they don't
violated
deserve
your own
that.
definition that we just agreed
Nope.
on. You realize that,
No,
right?
because we both, wait, hold
Yeah.
up. We both, no. We both agreed that justice is getting what you deserve,
Okay.
right? Okay.
Yep.
I think
Yep.
that if your father commits a crime, their child deserves a punishment as well. You don't, right?
Say that one more time.
So I'm just using this as an example, but some people would say that if your father commits a crime, their offspring deserves to be punished.
Oh, well, why
And
would they say that?
Okay, I'm gonna bring it back real quick. We agreed justice is getting what you deserve. Okay,
All right.
we
So
both
how
agree to
is
that.
somebody's son getting the punishment for what their dad did justice if justice is getting what you deserve?
No, so we're disagreeing. The subjective part here is what people deserve. You don't think people deserve
Other
to be,
people's punishment, yeah.
and I do.
That's because you don't know what justice is. That's because you read the Bible. And
We
that's where
already
you get your
agreed on the
sense of
definition of
from, but it's
justice.
completely
We
skewed.
already agreed on the
Yeah, I know,
definition
but
of
you still don't understand that punishing somebody for what somebody else did is injustice. That's the definition of injustice.
no. So, but remember, we said definitions don't really mean shit because
No, I
if we
said
don't
they
agree
do.
on the definition,
You're the
no,
one
wait,
that don't think they mean shit.
no, you even said that we can change definitions to whatever we want. So then
No,
I said
I said
exactly.
you're doing that, not me. You have to pay better attention.
No. You said that.
Okay, everybody
Yeah. So
listening, put a 1 in the chat if you agree with what I'm saying here, and I said that definitions do matter. Just
yeah,
confirm
same.
that's what we all heard here because he's
Yeah,
saying something
definitions do
different.
matter. That
Okay, thank you.
but we
All right, we got
acknowledge.
1.
Okay.
So everybody heard me say that I'm the one that cares about definitions.
Okay. So you acknowledge that justice amongst all the countries in the world are different, right?
Yeah, we have different systems of
So
justice. Yeah,
yep.
that's why it's
So there's
subjective.
yep. So okay. So we have different definitions of what justice is, which are
You and I
subjective.
agreed on the definition we're using here, didn't we?
Okay. So repeat back to me what we agreed on.
Getting what you deserve.
Cool. Yeah, I agree with that.
All right,
then,
so if you do a crime, how is it justice to punish somebody else for it?
yeah, so I said, now that we have agreed on a definition of justice, which is getting what you deserve, now it's the deserve part that is subjective, because someone could
What
punish me.
you deserve. Do you deserve to be punished for what somebody else did?
Some people think that, yeah,
Why?
because that's what they think.
Well, they're fucked up, and they need to reevaluate their thinking.
Yeah, so then tell me why you think it's not okay.
Because I don't think people deserve to be punished.
Oh, you
for
don't
what
think.
other people did? Yeah,
You
that's
don't
right.
think.
That's what.
You
Yeah, I
don't
have a
think.
brain. That's what I'm doing here is thinking.
They have a brain too.
I'll do that for
They
you.
have a
don't
brain
worry.
too. They have a brain too.
Well, they should use it a little better than what they're doing.
Yeah, so we agreed on the definition of justice, and then the deserve part
Yeah,
is
but I don't
subjective.
know why. You
So-
don't seem to be sticking to it at all.
because I think,
Oh,
just
you
like
do.
you. Yeah, so I think children should
No, not
deserve
just like
punishment.
you.
Wait, hold up. You ready for this? I think children should deserve the punishments of the crimes their father committed. You don't think that.
I just made
You're having
a 30% profit on the stock market in one trade. That's pretty good. All right, sorry. Go ahead. Off topic there.
So you think this, I think that. Who's right, who's wrong?
I don't know. What's everybody in the chat think? Who's right here? Put a one in the chat if you think I'm making this point better, and if you think his point
You're
needs
not
to be
making a point,
reevaluated,
dude.
put a two in there. Yes, I am.
No,
making a point.
your moral
Yeah, it's just over
framework
your
is
head.
just
I
what
don't
you
understand
think.
why, though.
Your
Here
moral
we go.
framework.
Ones and ones and ones. Oh, we got 1-2 in there. Somebody thinks you're making a great argument here.
Yeah, I'm showing you
Whole bunch
that
of
your
words, though.
standard. I'm showing you that your standard for what is good and evil is subjective.
I've said it's subjective from the start.
Okay.
Like, I never said it wasn't
So
subjective.
then, so
This is so strange.
no, it's not, because I can develop a moral framework that is subjective just like you.
Okay.
And then if we
Well,
say
even though
who's
my
right,
morality is subjective, it is always, there's no scenario to me where unalive an innocent baby is anything but evil and unjust. That's just my
Yeah,
subjective opinion.
and I think there are scenarios where that is permissible. That's my opinion.
I know you do, and that's messed up, and that's why I'm saying you
According
need
to
to
who?
reevaluate
According
what you
to
think.
who?
According to me. According to me.
Oh,
and
oh,
90% of the people
hold
watching
up.
here, apparently.
No, hold, oh, so according to me, you're fucked up because you don't believe what I think.
Yeah, okay.
So this whole argument or this whole prompt debate in atheist God is evil.
If
dude,
I'm
it's
fucked up for not
subjective.
agreeing with you, then I'll be fucked up all day long, proudly.
And if I don't agree with you, I'll be fucked up all day long without agreeing with you, and I'm proudly. You have no argument.
I just made an argument for the last 10 minutes. I don't know if you were listening or not.
No, it's your opinion. That's not an argument.
I've said it's my opinion this whole fucking time, so I don't understand why this is strange all of a sudden.
Because you're trying to be the arbitrator of what's right and wrong.
Demonstrate
And
objective morals exist if you think they exist. Show us all.
I never said they were objective.
Oh, okay. Then you having a subject, then you're doing the same thing you're accusing me of and acting like it's silly. So
I never
that's
said
pretty-
you were wrong, did I?
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did. You disagree with me. That's saying I'm wrong. Yeah.
No, if we both have subjective opinions, we're both valid.
We're both valid.
Yeah, because if both of our
Yeah,
opinions
except
are
I'm the one
subjective,
using actual definitions and standards here. You're not.
yeah, but I just demonstrated to you that not everybody agrees with the definition of justice.
You and I agreed on it.
We agreed on a definition, yeah, and that is
Yeah.
what getting
And
what they deserve.
We agreed on it. And I showed you that your God violated that, and somehow the definition changes when we say your God did.
No, because
Yeah.
dude, you're not
Oh,
following.
so you're admitting God was evil for doing that, right?
No,
Oh,
because what he
so yeah, you're changing
what-
the definition then.
what no. What's our definition? People getting what they deserve, right?
Yep.
Okay, God thinks some people deserve X, you don't think they deserve X. So
Yeah, because
now,
they didn't do the crime.
yeah, but remember, justice
Why
is
would
getting
I
what you,
deserve somebody else's punishment? That makes no fucking sense, man. Come on.
because some people think you deserve it.
Well, some people's fucked up. They need to reevaluate
Yeah,
the way they're thinking about
how are
this
they
shit
fucked
because it's
up?
clearly messed up. Because you're trying to give somebody else's punishment and saying it's justice. That's fucked up.
Yeah, because our definition of justice is people getting
Yeah,
what they
thanks for
deserve.
agreeing with me. Finally, holy shit.
Yeah, so then tell me, what's the definition, or like, what's your, so when you say people deserve this, what's that, like, how do you measure that? Like, what's your standard for deserve?
They're the ones who did it. They're the ones who deserve the punishment or not if they didn't do it. I don't know why this
Yeah,
is
you don't get it,
complicated.
bro. You don't get it.
I don't. Okay, one more time for the chat.
That's
and we're
why.
gonna
That's
move
why
on
some
here.
people think.
Put a 1 if
No,
I
no.
get it, and put a 2
So-
if you think he don't get it.
Wait, who's right or wrong in this scenario?
Well, we got like almost 30 people watching. We'll just let them decide real quick.
Yeah, well,
Then we'll move
that
on to the
makes
next
no
one. Either
sense.
you're destroying me here or I'm destroying you.
No one's
Gotta
destroying
want something,
anybody.
right?
I'm just showing you it's subjective.
No, I'm
Because
destroying
if we
your
look at,
logic right now
so
in front of
if-
everybody, and you don't seem to
if we-
understand that for some reason.
if we look at the death penalty, some people deserve people should get the death penalty. Some people deserve they don't get the death penalty. Who's right? Who's wrong?
I don't know. It just depends. But if they're the ones who did the crime, I think you have a lot better argument that they deserve the punishment. That's my whole point here.
No, because oh, you're fucking stupid, bro. No offense.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the stupid one here.
I don't even know what to say.
All right. Well, yeah, I know you don't. All right. Let's move on to somebody who does know what to say. All right. We got several people waiting in the queue here. Well, there you have it. It's either evil when we do it, but not when God does it, or it's just not evil at all, or it's we had the wrong definition to begin with. I don't know. It's crazy. Just the mental gymnastics you have to go through to justify the shit this God does is crazy to me. Anyway, thank you all. Damn, we got a lot of likes already. Got 30 people up in here. Apparently we got a good topic going again. Ain't that cool? But y'all keep it up. Keep tapping the screen here. It's pumping us out. We got several people in the guest queue. Maybe we can get somebody who defends this stuff or is a little more intellectually honest, I hope. Even though you can't defend this. Anyway, people seem to like to try, so we'll accept them for our entertainment here. All right. So, my what? Reset what? I feel like that was an important thing to say, but I don't know. What am my goal? Do I have a goal? How do I do that? The gift goal? I don't know how to do that, I don't guess. Or even what that is. Viewer wishes? No, that's not it. Can't be. And now? Alright, let me try that. Maybe that did it. I saw a gift thing there. Dartboard? Woo, I feel silly right now. I don't know what none of these are. Not from the last guy, from the gift stuff. He ought to be the one feeling fucking silly. The craziest part to me is that people will come up here and make an argument like that, get destroyed, and then somehow think they won and go off like, listen, I talked to the atheists, I don't know what definition. That's the crazy part to me. Thank you so much, Patrina. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure that out, I guess. I'm a little lost on the gift thing. He didn't fill a single one of those. Take that 3-0 off there, and you will have how many prophecies Jesus fulfilled. Anyway, all right, we got several people waiting here. Holy crap, there's like 5 now. And yes, I think VK was the next in line. Might go really quick and jump on to the next one. Might talk to him for a while. Depends on how sane he is. So let's figure it out. All right, let's bring up VK. He is chomping at the bit to come up here and school this dirty atheist. Oh, he's already paused. VK, you there?
Yo, yeah, I'm there.
Yeah, what's up, man? Are you over 18?
Yeah, I am. I'm
Awesome. And you're
18.
one of the Christians, I assume?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, well,
So,
which one of these do you want to try to make sense
okay,
of?
so, the God is evil part.
Oh,
So,
I'm sorry. Just one. Yeah, I got you. Just 1 second here. Like, hold on. Let me make Patrina. Yeah, let me do something with Patrina here. I feel like I need her now. She knows what's going on here. So let's see. Sorry, man. We'll get right back to it. I
no,
promise.
you good, you good.
Add moderator. Patricia or Patrina. I'm sorry. You're there. You're there. All right. Yes, please help me. All right. Sorry, VK. Go ahead.
No,
Go
you
ahead.
good. So, do you believe anything is worse than the death penalty, in your
Anything's
opinion?
worse?
Yeah, anything worse, like a worse human experience.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so, in my opinion, this is just me, and I'm sure this is a lot of other people too. I feel as if a worse experience is losing someone I love, right? So, I feel as if the passage or whatever you're talking about, when God took those innocent people, he was doing it to punish the people who committed the sin. That
I
doesn't
agree with that.
necessarily make, yeah, yeah. Nah, but
Yeah, I
what I was
agree
saying
that's
was
what
that
he was doing, but I don't agree that that's
for sure.
justice because they're not the ones who deserve the punishment.
Okay, for sure. So you do realize that God is like omnipotent, right?
He's what?
God is of a higher being than us. So it would be hard for us to understand him completely. And I
Oh,
also want to say that God does not follow our law of morality at all. God is
okay.
above time, space, and everything that this realm has to offer.
So your argument is we just can't understand it, so just deal with it anyway?
No, justice doesn't matter to him.
It doesn't.
Your
So
definition
your God
anyway.
don't give a shit about justice?
I would say that your definition of justice does not matter to him. His
Yeah, well,
definition
it
of
sure doesn't
justice
seem like it. He don't seem to
is
give a fuck
likely
about love, justice, or mercy,
is
from what I
likely
can tell.
higher is likely higher and
Hmm.
likely makes more sense
Oh, okay. Well, make this make
because
sense to me. Why he's unaliving innocent babies and having 10 of David's wives raped for what he did.
okay,
How's
we
that
are
cool?
made to believe that that is evil, that death is evil, okay? And I would say that
I don't think
unaliving a
death is
person,
evil. I think inflicting death on someone for what someone else did is evil.
yes, another human doing that to another human is very evil. Yes, I agree.
But it's not when God does it, right?
No, because God does not follow our moral law.
Oh, okay. So what the fruit of good and knowledge of good and evil, when we ate that, did we not learn what good and evil was?
Yes, evil stemmed from humans and it stemmed from free will.
Well, it stemmed from a magical fruit in Genesis.
Yeah, a magical fruit that gave you free will.
So we ate the
And that's
fruit
what,
of the knowledge of good and evil, right? So now we have knowledge of good and evil.
yeah,
So I think I
we
know
have
what good and
knowledge of,
evil is now. You should too,
not
but
for,
I don't know why we're getting so mixed up here.
not for sure. We know what good and evil is, but like I said, that applies to
Okay,
this
so I
realm. That
know
doesn't
that
apply
this
to
is
God.
evil. Oh, okay. God gets the
That's
pass,
evil.
right?
But
That's what I
listen,
was
that's
calling
evil.
earlier as a double standard
What
and
that guy
special
was
pleading
saying the other day
fallacy.
is that is very subjective. Okay, what you feel like an
Yeah,
evil
I
person
see.
deserves is very subjective. Someone could say something completely different. Like someone could
Does
say,
an
"Oh,
innocent
that's too easy
person
for them."
ever deserve someone else's punishment?
Why do you think the innocent person or the innocent people suffered for long? Do you feel like
Because
they
God
suffered
made
for
them.
long? Okay, so do you feel like
Well,
they
in this
suffered
case, the
after they
infant
died?
was made sick for a week, so it suffered for a week before it died. Yeah.
Do you know what redemption is?
Yeah.
God offers that. And God is very
He
fair
didn't
and
offer it
very
to this
just.
infant or the 10 ladies he had great,
How do you realize? Why do you think that? Did they not pass on after?
because that's what it says.
Okay, but they passed on after, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what God did with their souls? No.
Probably sent them to hell is what I'm thinking.
Like I said, every action is redeemable. And God does not
Except for
apply to this
blasphemy,
moral
right?
law.
Except for blasphemy, right?
Yeah, under humans.
Yeah, so I don't think that's justice at all. Like if Jeffrey Dahmer repented and Jeffrey Dahmer's in heaven, like I'm not going up there to hang out with Jeffrey Dahmer for eternity. That's fucked up.
Okay, that's fine. You don't have to. But at the end of the day, he still repented, and his
I don't want to.
relationship with God is none of your business. If you think about it.
Okay. Okay. Well, I still don't want to go be trapped in heaven with Jeffrey Dahmer. Like there's some kind of justice there. Christianity,
I mean, I agree with you.
justice completely out of the equation. There's no justice in Christianity. It is strictly about belief, and that's it.
Oh, why do you feel it like that?
Because that's what it says. You just said there is no sin that won't be forgiven. You can literally do whatever the fuck you want and be forgiven for it. That's not justice. It's a suspension of justice.
So then people see look, people like you say that, and then other people say, oh, you go to hell for everything. So which one is it?
If it was justice and you did bad shit, you would go to hell no matter what because you did bad shit. Forgiveness is a suspension of the justice that you deserve, and it's saying, never mind all that bad shit you did. Come on up to heaven and hang out with the good folks.
Okay, how many evil people, truly evil people, have repented and asked for forgiveness before they died?
I have no idea.
I'm sure if there were statistics on that, it would be like very, 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 very low. Because why would an
Still,
evil...
Jeffrey Dahmer did it. Famously.
Okay. If that's the case, then Jeffrey Dahmer's in... If he was truly sorry for his actions,
So
then
Jeffrey
Dahmer's in
Dahmer is
heaven
in
right
the
now.
same place with a bunch of good folks, and his victims are in hell. The ones he victimized got to go to hell because they.
Why do you feel like your opinion on that matters? His relationship with God is none of your business. Like, I agree with you, though. I agree with you, but our opinions don't matter on that.
Okay, well, we're both in agreement that we have an opinion on this matter.
Yeah, but to say that God is
I'm still
evil,
trying to understand why people are worshiping
he
this evil ass God.
like I said, to say God is evil when he doesn't follow our law of morality is insane, though.
Yeah, but it's doing
Especially
things
because
that clearly
morality is
are
very...
evil by our own definition. So we're just
No,
supposed
by
to
your
suspend
definition.
that in order to think this is somehow love. We just can't understand it.
No, you're not understanding. Your definition is different from the rest of the world's definition. And even if you do have the same definition as someone else, it's not everyone. That's not everyone's definition.
That's mine.
It isn't, right? So why does your definition rule over everyone else's?
I have a definition of justice, and most of the time everybody agrees with me on it. But the second I apply that to the actual problem, all of a sudden the definition needs to change.
Like I said, everyone has a different definition. Just because people agree with you doesn't mean your definition is the top definition and it is the definition that
Well, the
everyone should
thing
look for.
is, the people I'm talking to are agreeing with me. It doesn't make a difference what a bunch of people who ain't watching this think. It makes
Okay,
a
and you
difference
just...
who I'm talking to.
But listen, you just ran into two people, me and the person before, who don't agree with you.
He did agree with me.
Not
You heard
really.
that, right? Yeah, he did. We agreed on the definition.
On the definition of justice. Someone getting what they deserve. We were talking
So
about morality.
yeah, we agreed on the definition of justice. I said, well, this is what happened, so that's clearly injustice. And he goes, no. Then the definition changed. This is happening just like I'm saying it's happening.
Well, either way, can you give me a reason why God would be evil when he doesn't follow our moral law?
I'm saying God is evil because he's not lining up with our definitions or concepts of what evil is. He seems to be the evil one.
I just said he doesn't follow our moral law, so obviously he does not.
I know, so he's evil.
He's not gonna. What? Because
We
he
have
doesn't
knowledge
follow
of
our
good and
moral
evil, do
law,
we
he's
not?
evil.
I have
God
knowledge
has
of good and evil. We ate the fruit. We were cursed because we have knowledge of good and evil. I know
if
what
God
good
is
and evil is,
if
and I
God is
know God is
if
evil.
but listen, if God is omniscient, then he has more knowledge than you, so you're inferior. So what you think does not matter.
Well, then God should come and explain himself because his followers are doing a really, really bad job of it.
You think God should do something that's cute.
Yeah.
Do you not realize that God is
You
God?
think he
Even if
shouldn't do
listen,
nothing?
listen,
That's
I'm not
cute.
gonna lie to you. I'm gonna sit here and tell you something. Even if God did
Okay.
do all those things, it would not matter. Why would it matter? Where do you firstly?
Why
Tell me
would
why
what
would it
matter?
matter? Why would it matter if God did actually cause
Because
evil,
his followers are up here telling
even though he
everybody this
doesn't?
is all love and justice and mercy, and he's doing the exact opposite. And when we point that out, his followers say, "Oh yeah, that was we can't understand it. Just just worship him anyway." Pretty wild.
Okay, but what about humans? I feel like we're just so focused on God. Like, why don't we just focus on the things that human do?
Well, this is
Human, like
debate about
sin,
God.
sin stemmed from human free will. There was no
No,
evil. Why
God.
was
It
there?
was a setup. God set us up. He knew all this was already going to happen. Like you can't say
Okay,
God is
so
all knowing, and this
I
isn't
have a
part of His
question then.
plan. That's ridiculous.
I have a question then. Why was it stated that there were no evil on earth? There was literally no evil on earth until Adam ate the apple and had free will and
That gave
committed
us
the
knowledge
first
of
sin
good
of
and evil.
man. And what did man choose to do? The first time
He
they had
says
not
if
they
you
didn't.
eat this fruit, you will be like gods. You will know what gods know. So if we know good and evil now because of that fruit, then I know that your God is evil.
Okay, we all right. So we knew that good and evil, what good and evil was, right? But we chose to do evil, right or wrong.
I haven't done evil.
Adam has done evil, and we are man, so we represent him. So
If eating the fruit was evil and we're all being cursed for that, that is the definition of injustice and evil.
yeah, that is.
Yeah, it sucks. So why are you still a Christian?
Because man, you gotta have hope. You gotta believe in something.
Well, I
You can't
prefer
just.
not to believe in this because
But that's
this don't make
depressing.
no sense to me at all. No, it's
That's
depressing to me
depressing.
that you do believe this and you worship a
How?
God that's clearly doing evil and you just agreed.
Oh my gosh. You keep saying. Firstly, like I said, why would that matter? Why does that matter? Why does it matter
I'm
that the
not
Christian
worshiping.
God?
I'm not worshiping an evil being in the name of love when it's clearly evil and not love.
No, that is your opinion. That's the thing. Why should it matter that you
Exactly.
that,
Yeah, it's
that
my
you
opinion.
think
Yeah.
that? Why should it matter that you think the Christian God is evil? The Christian God is not evil. Firstly, like I
It
said,
don't
the
matter,
Christian
but
God
you're
is
up here
not.
arguing with me about it. This is a debate page.
The Christian God does not follow our law of morality. He does
I
not
know
follow
he does
yours.
whatever the fuck he wants to do, but that's still evil. Yeah,
That
I
is
get
your
it. God can do
definition of
whatever God
evil.
wants to do. Sure. Of course. Yeah, it's my
Yes.
definition. Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
God is not. God allows evil.
So my
God does
definition of
not
evil is unaliving
cause
innocent
evil.
babies for what other people did, but apparently it's not his followers' definition of it. So that's scary.
God God allowed the babies to be unalive.
What is
God did
your
not do anything
definition of
himself.
evil?
Evil, my definition of evil, unjust
Yeah.
acts. Unjust
What?
acts. Acts that are
Unjust?
unjust. Yes.
Oh, okay. So if something's unjust, it's evil, right?
Facts.
All right. So God's doing clearly stuff
Now
that is
now I wanna
injustice
remind
and
now I
evil.
wanna tell you something before you show me something. I just wanna say this. Unjust, just that word, that's subjective. Anything could be unjust, just like anything could be just. My
Okay.
definition of just or unjust could be different from yours.
Well, we can agree on it, and then we can figure out if this
Okay,
is
but listen,
just
just
or
because
unjust,
we
right?
agree on it doesn't mean the definition isn't still widespread. It doesn't mean the definition
Yeah, but
is
it
only
means you and I
between.
have agreed on it in this conversation.
Okay, but what does that matter? I'm arguing for God
Doesn't
right now.
matter. It's a debate. So, do you agree that justice is getting what you deserve?
Yeah,
Okay. So, when people get punished for what they don't deserve, how is that actually justice?
because They are listen, like I said, what is worse than the death penalty? Losing someone that you care about, right or wrong,
How is that their justice?
because they are going to suffer emotionally. That is
But they
traumatic.
are not the
Is it
ones
not?
who got what they deserved. They got what somebody else deserved.
You could argue emotional pain is worse than physical pain, especially over a long spread,
Okay.
a wide spread of years.
Yeah, but that's still not justice. That's just
Besides,
the punishment.
if those people were truly innocent, then they are in heaven right now. So if you're so worried about them, don't worry, they're fine.
Oh, I don't agree with that for sure.
No, they're definitely no, they're fine. If they did nothing wrong, they're fine.
Oh, okay. They just got unalived anyway.
Yeah, life is not everything, buddy.
Okay.
This is all
Then
it's
anybody who
like. Do you
gets
feel like
unalived, all the Christians being persecuted and murdered they're cool because they're just getting to go to heaven. So it's not actually not bad at all.
the reality of the situation? You're not wrong, and all the
That's
Christians
right. I
know
know I'm
that. They
not.
believe in their God. They trust their God. The Christians that are being unalived, if they truly believed in Jesus, that's where they're going to heaven. What's wrong with that?
Oh, nothing.
I don't think there's anything wrong with believing in something, man. That's all I'm saying.
You
Like,
can believe in whatever you want, but you're believing that this is clearly evil is somehow good, and that's what I don't understand here.
when did I s- when did I say any of this was good?
Oh, my bad. You said it's evil, but it's not evil when God does it.
I said it's evil, and I said God does not follow our morality laws.
Yeah, but
God is
you
not
agree
bound
that
to
it
this
was evil,
universe.
and God's doing it. So you're saying God isn't evil, even though God's doing evil.
It's evil. No, 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 no. You're not understanding. God, whatever God does, just because it's evil to you does not mean it's evil to him or anyone else. Okay?
Yeah, evil
Even
people
if a
doing evil
lot of
probably
people,
don't think it's evil what they're doing. I get it.
okay, but God is omniscient. So, do you know the definition of God? God is all knowing. So, God knows more than you. So, you can't say that that is evil. If God has said that does not commit no evil, if God said that he commits no evil, then that is true because he is all knowing. Why would he lie?
It's true because he says it, right?
Exactly. Facts.
So why can I see a innocent baby being unalived here, and I'm supposed to think, oh, okay, well, God probably knows what he's doing there.
That
Forget
is
about it.
redeemable suffering. That is redeemable suffering that can be redeemed in heaven.
All right, man. Well, I don't want everybody watching to hate you, so I mean, like, just to be clear, you do think it's evil when an innocent baby is unalived, right?
I think that a baby in heaven is beautiful, man. That's all.
Okay. All right, buddy. Well, we appreciate you coming up. I think I think he was real clear there. Woo! Scary conversations this morning. This is the crazy topic here. Tom, sadly, seems to be the case. Thank you, everyone, again, for all the comments, the screen tapping. We got a bunch of likes. We're getting shared out. The audience is getting bigger and bigger. Bigger and bigger. Seeing this Christian logic get roasted right in front of your eyes. It's evil, but it's not evil. It's evil when we do it. It's evil when God don't do it. It's scary shit, man. That's why I say all the time. This is why I do this, is because the danger of Christianity is that people will give a pass to atrocities being committed in the name of a divine presence that somehow makes it loving that they are committing these evil atrocities. And that is fucking scary. And has been a problem with these fallible human brains we got since the inception of such ridiculous ideas. Woo! Man. Anyway, Man, we still got a whole bunch of people waiting here today. We got a buffet of people. A buffet of people here. All right. Shit, I forgot who's next, actually. All right. So I can't never remember if the top or the bottom here is the one who's been late. So I've been waiting on my bad memory to try to figure out who's been waiting. But I think it's Crazy Boots. So we're going to bring up Crazy Boots, and we'll see what Crazy Boots got to say about all this. Crazy Boots, are you there?
That was an accidental request. I'm an atheist.
Oh, no. Well, thank you for joining us in reality, buddy.
Right on. I appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem, bud. I appreciate you. We get the accidental stuff every now and then. All right, so next up, maybe it won't be an accident this time. We still got like 5 people here. All right, AI Clanker. Let's give them a shot. Maybe they won't make Christians look bad. Oh, they're gone. All right, Beethoven. That's a cool fucking name. Let's see what Beethoven got for us. Load them in. Beethoven, you there?
Blessed day. How you going?
I'm doing good. You're over 18?
Yeah, man. Nice across in my country, Trinidad, all the way. You understand? Trinidad and Tobago in the house here.
Oh, okay. Well, are you a Christian?
I don't call myself a Christian, but I do go by the Bible and the words and what it teach. I don't base my belief on religion because of what the Bible teach. I understood that God never teach religion, but he do say if a man choose to follow religion, let it be righteous. And most religion are not.
Oh, okay. Well, do you think unalive innocent babies is evil?
Okay, so we need to watch it at the point of view on why the decision was made, you understand, to see whether it was just or not. So if we have a tribe of people that live evil, they kill, vandalize, and they go around doing all type of destructive thing, would you leave that generation of people to strive?
I don't know. They have free will, don't they?
Yes, they have free will, but they're doing evil, murdering, all type of thing. Would you allow that generation to
I will
survive?
call evil out when I see evil, yes.
Right, so you will get rid of it, right?
I would what?
You will have get rid of it if you know that this is a batch of evil people and there is no good out of them. You'll have get rid of it, right?
What you mean if I was God?
Yeah.
Well, if you're saying they are the ones doing the supposed evil, then yes, you would be more justified in getting rid of them over getting rid of an innocent baby who had nothing to do with the crime.
No, I mean, whether there is a baby in the generation or not, evil is evil. Spawning and next spawn, that is a nation of evil going to bring more evil. That is like her saying you have a poisonous snake, but you don't want to kill the snake, but when the snake bites your ball, oh, you should have killed it. You know,
I'm having a hard time following you, honestly. I'm not
all right,
sure.
I'm trying to break it down in the most easiest way as possible. That's why I asking a question about that. Why I use the term using a village that is rogue. They are just undisciplined man of people that saying everything that is wrong. That is what they strive on. So you as God seeing a generation of people like this, what would you do? When you give a correction, because God don't, if you look in the Bible.
If I'm God, I will punish people for the evil they did, not the evil other people did.
No, sometimes it have what you remember. Evil did not just evil is not just as a punishment. Evil is also a curse. And if you, as a generation, bring a curse on yourself, it falls on your family.
Yeah, that's not justice.
No, it is fair justice because God does
not. That's not justice.
All right. So in the Bible, right, in every nation
Justice
there
is
is.
getting what you deserve, not people getting what somebody
All
else
right. So
deserves.
so hear me. So hear me. You may not agree on what I'm saying, but at the end of the day, it's still on a learning process. So okay, so let me look like places like Sodom and Gomorrah, Egypt, and all these things. Before any
Um,
destruction was put on
yeah,
them.
yeah, I appreciate it, man, but honestly I can barely understand you, and I'm not sure. I mean, if you think it's justice to give people family punishments, then we just don't agree. So I'll just call you a loss there. But I can barely understand you, man. I'm sorry, I can't. I wish I could. Wish I could have heard you better, but I can only make out a few words. I'm too simple for trying to listen here. All right, let's bring up the next one. We have Nate. Maybe Nate is still here. Nate is not still here. Yeah, sorry, man. Yeah, my bad there. I couldn't. Probably shouldn't drag that one out too long. But we don't agree on the definition anyway, so we have different ideals of justice, which I think mine's better. All right, let's bring up Heaven's Shadow. That sounds interesting. Heaven Shadow, are you there?
Hello.
Hello. Are you over 18?
Yes, I am. Thank you
Are
for
you one of
letting me
the
up.
Christians? Yeah, no problem. Thanks for coming up.
Um, yes, I would say I am a Christian. I'm an evangelical theologian, and I'm a mystic.
What's a mystic?
A mystic is someone who seeks a higher spiritual understanding beyond the intuitive and the common, like the common intellect.
Oh, okay. Well, which one of these topics up here do you want to school me on today?
Well, let's go through the first one and then go to the bottom as we work through it.
All right.
You say you're an atheist, but you're here debating if God is right or wrong.
Right.
Atheism, by definition, believes in no gods or God.
Right.
So you're actually agnostic.
Nope, I'm an atheist.
No, because you're a theist at that point. If you believe in
No,
the
I'm an
Christian God,
atheist. I don't believe any gods exist.
but then you're debating if God is good or bad.
Yeah, based on what the book says, yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't
But
make a difference if it's real or not. It's what the book's saying about him.
okay, I understand there. Okay, I understand. I just think
Great.
that to even consider an argument on a topic that doesn't exist is to give it existence.
Okay, well, let's give it existence and then argue about it.
Okay, so in your mind, this is like a thought box that we're putting these things in.
Sure, this God is definitely real and it's definitely evil. Let's debate.
Okay, well I understand this is going to be in like a theoretical space because you don't believe that God even exists, correct?
I just gave you it exists.
Okay, but then you're not an atheist.
Okay, well, I'm going to argue from a regular old person standpoint, not an atheist then. I can
Okay.
do that.
Okay. And then
All right, so how is unaliving innocent babies and having 10 women raped for what somebody else did justice or love or anything other than evil?
well,
See, we're at the same argument whether I'm an atheist or not, so it really don't make a difference.
well, if you're an atheist, then this argument shouldn't stand at all because you don't believe in the God, period.
Yeah, but there's like 2 billion of y'all that do, so yeah, let's argue about it.
So, like, have you been convinced at that point? Do you admit that you're an agnostic? You just don't know if he's good or bad?
No, I know that this is evil.
Okay.
We're here debating that today and hoping some of y'all can explain how it's not evil. But so far, it's been a pretty catastrophic failure.
Okay. So can you show me where and in what context and who is being talked about that you're pulling these claims from?
Yeah, it's in the Bible, and it says God unalives David and Bathsheba's infant son for what he did to Uriah the Hittite, and he has 10 of his wives raped in front of the whole city for what David did. And I'm saying that is, by definition, injustice and also evil.
And what book is this in?
This is 2 Samuel chapter 12.
Okay. Just give me 1 second. I'll find it and we'll be on the same page.
No.
So you've
Yeah, it
read the
says,
Bible,
"Thus says the
then.
Lord, I will raise up trouble from against you, from within your own house. I will take your wives before your very eyes, and give them to your neighbor, and he shall lie with your wives in broad daylight. For you did it secretly, but I will do this before all of Israel in broad daylight." David said to Nathan, "I have sinned against the Lord." Nathan said to David, "Now the Lord has put away your sin. You shall not unalive. Nevertheless, by this deed that you have utterly scorned the Lord, the child born to you shall be unalived." Then Nathan went to his house. The Lord struck the child whom Uriah's wife bore to David, and it became very ill. David therefore pleaded with God for the child. David fasted and went and lay on the ground all day and night. The elders of the house stood beside him, urging him to rise from the ground, but he would not, nor did he eat food with them. On the seventh day, the child unalived. So God is unaliving this child for what David did, and he's having 10 of his wives graped in front of the entire city for what David did. Like, David literally says, "I'm the one who did this." And it literally says, God says, "I'm the one who's doing this." Pretty messed up, ain't it? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm just looking for it.
Oh,
I'm not worried about this. I'm telling you, we can find some truth here. And I'm
you're not
even
worried
if
about that?
no, I'm not. I'm just looking for truth.
Shit.
Like I said, I believe that this book is true because of my theologian investigation. Okay,
Sure,
I'm a
make it about justice and love, though, and not the exact opposite of that.
It should be a lot about love and truth. If it's coming from God, it should be about love and truth. That's how we're supposed to filter it.
So you're saying God unaliving this baby and having 10 of David's wives graped was truth and love?
Well, let me hold on, because here's the thing. Like, as a mystic, I'm not here to convince anybody. I'm here to understand the higher understanding. And if you're pointing out something I've missed, then I'm interested. Okay, and we can find the truth together.
Okay.
And so you're taking 2 Samuel chapter 2. What was it?
12.
Chapter 12. Very far into the book.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I started reading verse 11 there.
Okay, so like still even what you read was out of context then, because we're
Yeah, it
12
wasn't.
chapters into this story and we don't know what's going on.
I'm not reading all of Samuel, bro. This is this story. This is a standalone story. It's
Okay,
what
but
David did to Uriah the Hittite. It gives you all the specifics here in this chapter. So I've got
can
the
I
context.
can I
The
can I
context
can
is
I
on my side for sure.
can I ask you if you read the whole book to find this?
I've read it all. Yep. A lot
Okay,
of times. I read it every day here on camera.
nobody showed you this? You didn't just go straight to it and pull it out?
No, I've read this a whole bunch of times. I've heard this story my whole life.
Okay, but you've read the whole complete
What
set
is out
of
of
Samuel.
context that I'm saying? If you think I'm taking it out of context, what's the actual context?
No. I'm not trying to make a point and an argument. I'm just trying to understand. Have you read all of 2 Samuel, or did you just read this
Yes, I have
chapter?
read all this a whole bunch of times for my whole life. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
And
I
even
mean,
if I didn't, it don't matter because this is a standalone story. It gives you the
you wouldn't
context.
say that if you had.
Yes, I would.
No, you
And I
wouldn't.
have. And I'm still
Okay.
saying it.
All right.
Okay.
If we're being
All right.
honest.
No, I am being honest.
Okay.
All right.
Because, we can't find truth if we're lying to each other.
So
You
am
know
I
that,
taking
right?
it out of context or not?
I'm just saying that fundamentally we cannot find truth if we're lying to each other.
I'm not lying to anybody.
Okay, and I believe
If
you.
you're telling me I'm taking it out of context, tell me what's wrong.
So you're
'Cause I
talking about
just read
chapter
it.
12 and you started in verse 11, right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. I'm just being patient. And I'm just trying to find understanding. I'm not upset with you. I
I
believe you,
understand. No.
right? Okay.
Yeah, I'm not upset either. I'm saying
Okay.
you was talking about the context, and I'm saying if you don't think
Yeah.
I'm in context, then correct me. What's the actual context here?
So it says here, so he will be struck down and die, unsuccessful in making it appear that Uriah was the father of Bathsheba's child. David plotted Uriah's death so he could marry Bathsheba himself as quickly as possible.
Yeah, he got Uriah killed. That's why God's punishing him. Yeah.
Okay. So is that not
Yeah.
justice?
No, because he unalived an innocent baby and had 10 of David's wives great that didn't have nothing to do with any of this.
But 11:15 is saying that he, the chapter just before this one is saying that he's threatening him with death because he had someone killed to steal his wife.
David said to Nathan, I have sinned against the Lord. So who's doing the sinning here?
David.
Okay, so why are a bunch of other people being punished for David's sin?
Okay, so let's
That's
go
the
through
point
it.
here.
Let's go through it. Like I said, I have all day, and I'm trying to be patient, and you are too, and I appreciate it. I understand the points that you're making. I just want
You want me to read it again?
I mean, you can, but I want to look into it. I don't want to just read the surface, and that's what I'm doing. Okay.
Okay, well, David committed a sin.
Okay.
God
So
gets very
so
angry. But God
chapter
doesn't kill
12,
David, he kills a whole bunch of other people.
chapter 12, verse 11. Out of your
Yep.
own household, I'm going to bring you calamity. I'm going to bring calamity on you. David was driven from Jerusalem by Absalom's conspiracy to seize the kingship from his own father. Okay, he will sleep with your wives in broad daylight, fulfilled at the time of Absalom's rebellion. And it says, see note on 1622. So if we go to 1622, we can find more information that connects this story to the rest of it, rather than just reading this chapter. Okay.
Yeah, but we don't have to read that. It's already pretty clear.
Oh, we don't have to read the context that it's connecting to.
I've already
1622.
given the context. Are you saying I'm not in the context?
He sleeps with his father's concubines.
Because God made him do it.
A fulfillment of Nathan's prophecy.
Yep.
And for additional significance, see note on verse 21. Okay, so he's fulfilling a prophecy by doing that, and they're not his wives; they're his concubines, which are like slaves. Okay,
Concubines aren't slaves necessarily in this context, but either way, they
can
are
you
not
show
the
me
ones who
evidence
sinned.
for that
David
claim?
clearly said, "I am the one who have sinned, not these 10 women, and not this infant child."
There was a
That's the
prophecy
problem here.
fulfilled right there. So the second line of your premise on the
Yeah,
heading,
he has their. Yeah, that prophecy comes true. He has 10 of David's wives
okay,
raped in front
so
of all
that's
of
two
Israel.
of your
Sounds
the
really, really
prompt,
loving.
The prompt up there, that's 2 down. Let's keep going. Verse 22 for in depth and significance.
Excuse me, sir. You're going to have to address the actual problem here.
I am. I'm going deeper into the context.
How is it love or justice that 10
We're gonna get
women
there.
were
I
raped
promise we will
because
get
of
there.
what? Just answer the question.
I'm going to answer it with the word, not my own opinion.
Well, you're going to have to answer with your own opinion. We're not going to sit here and read random shit all day. When we
No, we're
already
going to
all
read
know
verse
the context
22.
of this
We're going to
story.
read verse 22.
We already know the context of this story. We've heard it all our life. Everybody knows what's going on here.
I don't think so. I don't think you know what's going on here.
Oh, I definitely know what's going on here. I don't think
Well,
you
then
do.
allow me to read verse 22.
Well, go read it and then come back when you have a good idea of what's going on
I'm
here.
sorry that I'm just tearing your premise and your prompt apart, man. You can't.
You're
sit
not
here and
tearing
find
nothing
truth with
apart.
me.
You're straight delusional if you think you're tearing me apart because I know what's happening in this story. You clearly don't. So if you want to go read it, go read all the chapters you want to
Your
read, and then
prompt
come
says you're
back,
an atheist.
and we
You don't
will
even know what
talk
that
about
is.
the actual
Your
content.
second purpose on your prompt is a prophecy.
All right,
and
this guy's
fulfilled,
incapable of addressing the actual fucking words. Listen, if you want to go read it and come back. But I'm not going to. Now we're back on what atheists are. Like, no, this is the Christians here, the ones who can't track a damn conversation. Holy shit. Yeah, I'm sure you think I'm the delusional one here for thinking. Yeah, I'm delusional because thinking 10 women being great for what another dude did is evil. Yeah, that's delusional on my part. Sorry, I'm the delusional one here. You can come up and explain to me why I'm delusional for thinking that, and you're in fact not the delusional one, because I think anybody would agree that that's fucking evil shit. And that's just my subjective opinion once again. All right, so let me check out some of the comments here before we move on. Still got several guests waiting. Maybe we can get to one that can actually track and answer fucking questions. Wouldn't that be crazy? So far, the Lord ain't sending his best up in here. No, I can't handle it when people won't address the damn point. You're trying to skate around what atheists are. I mean, we got past this. I don't know why. I don't know why you have to go back. Well, I know why you have to go back because you can't address the actual point. But anyway, go read whatever you want to read. Get the context nice and clear, and then you can come back and correct me if you think I was not contextually accurate there or whatever. I mean, there's a whole bunch of people here watching right now. You can come back and make a fool of me in public. I would love that, actually. All right. Nate. I can't remember if Nate was back or not.
Hello, can you hear me?
Barely.
Can you hear me now? Is this better?
A little bit better. You're still pretty quiet, though.
Is this better?
Yes, that's better. That's better. All right. Are you
Okay.
over 18?
Yes, I'm over 18.
Awesome. Are you one of the Christians?
Yes, I am a non-denominational Christian.
A non-denominational?
Yes, I am.
Okay, cool. Get back a little closer to your microphone there. You went quiet again.
Okay.
Anyway, which of these topics do you like here?
Well, I just want to know why you said, like, in the text, right? It said that you used to be a Christian or something.
Yeah, I was a Christian until I was like 27. Yeah. Thank you so much
I
for the
want
gifts.
to know why you left.
Because of the Bible. Too many problems.
And
Jesus don't fulfill any prophecies. God does a bunch of evil stuff. That kind of
now
stuff.
tell me why and since you're atheist and atheist believes that, like, God isn't real, right?
Right.
And so why do you not believe that God isn't real?
Because it doesn't make any logical sense. I don't even think there's a need for a God. It's 2025, man. We have science and stuff. Like, we know how how planets form and stuff like that, stars, gravity. We know how all this works now. We don't need God to explain it. Not that God explained it anyway.
And, like, you're a atheist, and atheist believes that there's no God, right? So why are you only, like, pointing out Christianity, not any other religions that believe in the same thing, that there is a
I
God?
just know this one the best. I think I'm better equipped to argue this one than the other ones.
Okay. Well, I want to debate you on that. God is real. Can I debate you on that?
Is that one of the topics?
Yeah. Can I debate you on that? That God is real.
It's not a topic, but real quick, bounce it off of me.
Well, say why you don't believe God isn't real for a second.
I don't think there's any need for a God. I think science and nature explains existence much better.
So you
I think
think
God's a
that
figment of
randomly the
imagination.
Earth,
People just made them up to explain things that we didn't used to know,
so something that
and it makes them feel bad.
exists. So, and you're saying that religion is just like, what are you saying religion is? What do you think of religion?
It's just belief systems, mostly founded on faith and not actual facts.
And so you're saying something that existed for thousands of years is fake?
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
Well,
with
the
you
religion's
saying
real,
that,
but I'm saying the doctrine is false. Yeah.
okay, and you're saying the beliefs are fake, and, like, what they're believing in is fake?
No, false, not fake.
Okay. Well, you're saying that that there is no God, and heaven is not real, Jesus is not real, and all that, right?
Jesus might have been a real person, but he certainly wasn't the Messiah that was promised in the Old Testament.
Okay. Now, if you're saying that, can you repeat again because I forgot? Or can you repeat why God isn't real?
Because I think he's a figment of people's imaginations. No one has actually demonstrated God's to be anything other than that, so I don't think it's real. It's an unfounded claim, is what I think.
So do you think that like randomly things, miracles happen and they're just fake, they're false?
I don't think miracles happened. If you mean by miracle, you mean a suspension of like physical laws in the universe, then yeah, I don't think that's ever happened.
Well, it happened multiple times.
Okay, show us, prove it.
I don't know what do you mean by prove it?
Well, if you're
Like the
claiming that a miracle
stories
happened and
is
it's a real fact, I would think you would be able to show us that.
well, what do you mean show?
Just prove it somehow or another. I mean, if you're
Oh, I don't know how
arguing
to
that the
believe.
laws of
No,
nature
how
were
to like.
suspended and the laws of physics and some sort of supernatural occurrence happened, you should be able to prove it somehow or another, or at least make a good argument for it.
All right, I know what you're saying, but do you think that, like, do you think that Jesus was a real person?
He was probably a real person. Yeah.
But you don't believe he was the Messiah.
Oh no.
Now, what is the Messiah in like your opinion?
Well, according to the Old Testament, it was a king who was going to rule from the line of David's, who was going to snuff out all of Jerusalem's enemies and bring peace to them forever and ever.
Okay. Now, if you're saying that, if the Messiah will be like a god, right, or something like that, right, a king, right,
King, not
and
a
you don't
god.
believe that, okay, sorry, and you believe that Jesus wasn't the Messiah?
Yeah, he wasn't the Messiah. That's right.
All right. Now, with you saying he wasn't the Messiah, what, like, in your opinion, why? Why wasn't he the Messiah?
Because he didn't do anything that the Messiah was actually supposed to do.
And what are those things?
Rule from the throne of David, be from the line of David, raised from among the Israelite captives, and bring worldwide peace to the throne of David.
Okay, but there's been multiple counts, right? That Jesus helped people and other stuff, okay?
Yeah, but that's not what the Messiah is supposed to do. He's supposed to rule from the throne of David. He's going to be a warrior king who's going to leave a line of kings that'll never be broken.
Well, Jesus had that chance, but he
didn't
denied.
do it. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, just because he didn't do it doesn't mean he wasn't a Messiah, okay?
That's exactly what that means. To be the Messiah, you have to do all the stuff that the Messiah is supposed to do.
Okay.
Why else would you think he's a Messiah if you don't think he did anything the Messiah is supposed to do?
All right. Well, so you're saying he didn't do anything that the Messiah did?
Yeah, it sounds like you just agreed with me.
Okay. Well, I don't know, like, what do you mean exactly?
I'm saying the Old Testament says this Messiah is going to come. He's going to be this and he's going to do this. So if Jesus comes and he wasn't that or did that, then he's not the Messiah.
Okay, but there's New Testaments for a reason.
Yeah, because they don't know what they're talking about.
Okay, now on your other thing, you said God is evil in the text, right? God is evil. I want to debate you on that, right?
Sure, you'll have to concede the other point first, though.
What was the other point?
That Jesus wasn't the Messiah. He didn't do anything the Messiah was supposed to do.
Yes, but did he have to, though? Did he have to?
Yes.
Did he physically have to?
Yes.
All right.
Otherwise,
But
anybody can come and claim they're the Messiah and be the Messiah if you don't actually have to do anything the Messiah is supposed to do. Yeah.
okay. But here's a question: where was the message of the Messiah came from? Where was that
The
came
Old
from,
Testament,
though?
a whole bunch. There's a whole lot of messianic prophecies in the Old Testament.
Exactly. So,
Exactly.
like, I don't know, like,
So why
what
doesn't
you're
Jesus
meaning.
fit a single description of any of those?
No, but like, I don't know what you are like meaning.
Wait, what?
I don't know like what you're meaning.
I don't know how to explain it any better than that.
Okay, can we just debate on the next thing, that God isn't real? Sorry,
Yeah, but you'll
can
have
we
to
debate that
concede
God?
that Jesus wasn't the Messiah promised from the Old Testament.
Well, I don't know like what you mean. Like, can you explain that a little bit better
Do you think
for me,
Jesus is
please?
the Messiah from the Old Testament?
Do I think he's the Messiah?
Yeah.
No,
All right.
because
Thank you. You've just conceded. Now we can move on.
no, but I don't believe he's the Messiah because but I
Okay, then
do
he's not the
believe
Messiah. I don't know why we need to
he
continue
is the
that
Son of God.
conversation.
I do believe he was the Son of God, though.
Okay, well, still not the Messiah.
Does he have to be the Messiah?
Yeah. That's the whole point of the New Testament, is to try to convince people that Jesus is the Messiah that the Old Testament was promised. That Jesus was trying to convince people of that himself.
Okay. Can we move on to the next argument?
We can, yes.
Okay. Now I want to debate you on that God is evil part. I want to debate you on that. Okay. Can you explain to me why God is evil to you?
Because he does evil things.
And what are like those evil things?
Like, just for example, he passes a bunch of laws that are clearly unjust and evil. He unalives David and Bathsheba's infant son. He has 10 of David's wives raped for the crimes that David committed. He has an entire group of people the Amalekites slaughtered for what people 400 years prior to that did. There's a whole bunch of stuff. I can go on and on and on, actually.
I didn't really get you there. Can you like repeat like the first three?
The first three. He passes unjust laws that are horrific.
Okay, and
He unalives David and Bathsheba's infant son, and he has 10 of David's wives raped for what David did. I consider all those evil and injustice.
And you said he passed down rules, right? And can you explain to me what those rules are? Because can you explain to me what those rules are?
There's over 600 of them. One of my favorites is that one of the laws that God passes says if two guys are fighting and someone's wife tries to intervene in said fight by grabbing one of the man's testicles, then you have to cut off her hand. Show her no pity. That's a fun one.
Oh, okay. Now, is this in the Old Testament or the New Testament? Because I do not like
It's in the Old Testament.
recognize this. Old Testament.
That's where it gives all the laws
So,
at, yeah.
all right. And those are the 10 testing. Okay. Well, if it was that, then how about the New Testament? That's where like, how about the New Testament? That's where the new rules are.
Okay, where's the new laws in the New Testament?
It's okay. Like what? Like, do you mean?
You said there's new rules in the New Testament. So what are the new laws? Is that what you're talking about?
Not new laws. I mean the we got it. Okay, and explain me to the other things.
He unalives David and Bathsheba's infant son for what David did. So if you think justice is people getting what they deserve, then it's considered injustice for people to get what other people deserve.
Okay. Can you explain? Can you repeat that because I didn't really hear you?
All right, one more time. David unalives, God unalives David and Bathsheba's infant son, even though this infant did not do anything. That's evil.
Okay. I need
You
to
don't agree?
advise that was no, I didn't really hear you. Can you, like, speak it louder? Sorry.
All right. I don't think you're going to be able to hear me good if you can't hear me good right now.
Or can you, like, speak
Actually,
slower?
you're kind of hard to hear too, unless I got two of my things in. And this almost never happens, actually.
Maybe it's my mic. I have a real bad mic, actually.
Yeah, you're getting hard to hear. Yeah, I appreciate you coming up, man, but I'm gonna drop you back. Come back when
Okay,
you got a
so
better microphone
yes,
or
yes,
some
yeah.
earbuds or something, where we can hear each other better.
See you. Okay, see you. God bless.
What? Oh, sorry. Oh, he said God. See, I barely heard him, and he said something nice, actually. So, all right, let me go back to normal here. Sorry. All you need to know is God is real. I need to know a whole lot more than that. I need to know this God is worthy of our worship. I need to know this God is an actual moral standard. So if you're going to argue that this God is an actual moral standard, I would think this moral standard should actually embody those morals and not violate them constantly. It's just crazy to me. Such simple logic. Like me, an idiot. I have to hand walk people through the simplest of logics. It's crazy. It's crazy. Holy shit, guys. Stay tuned. We have the AI man himself back. This man made a rebuttal video for me yesterday. Let's bring in transcendence. And this time, we are going to make this a freaking debate here. Transcendence, come on back in.
Oh, thank you
there,
so
buddy?
much. I'm happy you had me back up, bro. That's cool.
Oh, I'm so glad you came back because this
No
time
way,
I'm
dude.
going to absolutely crush your weak apologetics.
Bro, yeah, I was nervous you weren't going to debate me again. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it too. Thanks for coming back. This is about to get real interesting here.
Yeah, so that verse that you gave me, that was like your biggest.
Which one?
The one in there was like several verses in Matthew, like all together.
Yeah, all of them. Yeah, that was just one of them. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Were you able to take a look at the answers I sent you on those?
I didn't. You can explain them to me now since you're back, though.
Sure. Yeah, so the issue...
Yeah, so Jesus didn't actually fulfill any of those prophecies. They were lies, so make them not lies for us.
Yeah.
And I know you was using AI, too, so this time don't be dipping out and going and checking your AI.
Right. Yeah, no, I don't have to. I've read about this, you know.
Okay, good.
So...
All right,
yeah.
So clear it up for us.
Yeah.
Defeat me in this debate here, Mr. Apologist.
Yeah, no issue. So why do you think, like, you know, that part about like the unalive babies being like some sort of like prophecy? Why do you think that has to be a prophecy?
Because he says it's a fucking prophecy.
No, he's referring to the other.
He says it's a
verse,
fulfilled prophecy. So you're saying Matthew's lying? He didn't say it's a fulfilled prophecy?
No, he's not lying. He's not saying.
So he is saying it's a fulfilled prophecy then, right?
No, he's not saying that it's a fulfilled prophecy.
So is he saying it is or not? It says, hey, this was to fulfill the word spoken by the prophet.
Not that part of the verse that you're referring to. That's not what he's saying.
Yeah, that's exactly what it says.
No, it's a different part of the verse that
All right,
he's
let's just go read
to.
it. We'll show everybody that you're just straight up lying now.
Yeah, read it.
I will. Matthew chapter 2. The massacre of the infants. When Herod saw that he had been tricked by the Magi, he was infuriated, and he sent and killed all the children in and around Bethlehem who were 2 years old or under, according to the time that he had learned from the Magi. Then what had been spoken through the prophet Jeremiah was fulfilled. Is that clear enough?
Yeah, keep reading.
Yeah, okay. So clearly this is not a fulfilled prophecy.
Yeah, but what comes after that? Read after that.
The return from Egypt. He moves on to another false prophecy.
Yeah, I don't.
So you've just said Matthew didn't say this was fulfilled, and I just read that he clearly did say it was fulfilled. So what do you got to say about that?
Yeah. So the prophecy
so you were wrong,
being
right?
fulfilled there Yeah, the prophecy
you were
being
wrong.
fulfilled there. No, I'm not
You
wrong.
were wrong, though.
No.
Yeah, you were wrong. You said he didn't say this is a fulfilled prophecy. I just read that it does say it's fulfilled. So
All right, here, let me open it up and hold on. You're gonna,
I just read it.
if you want to die on this
Then
hill,
what had
I'm
been
gonna-
spoken through the prophet Jeremiah was fulfilled.
That's fine, but we got to go to the context for the verse.
I already had the context.
No, you cherry picked a
You
verse.
said, Matthew said this is not a fulfilled prophecy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That it's not.
Yeah,
that's
so
not
you're
the
wrong. We just read it. He says it is fulfilled.
That's not the prophecy he's referring to.
That is the prophecy. He quotes the prophecy. It's from Jeremiah 31.
He does quote the prophecy.
And yesterday
from
when we
Jer-
talked
now
about it, you
that's
couldn't
the
get off
that's
the
the
Exodus for
prophecy
some
he's
reason.
talking about. He's talking about the prophecy in Jeremiah 31 that that was.
I know
fulfilled.
that. That's what I've been saying the whole time.
Yeah,
You said
so
this is not
that
a fulfilled
prophecy was
from Jeremiah.
Yeah, but that is what I'm saying. I'm saying there is a fulfilled prophecy from Jeremiah there.
All right,
but like
what
it's
is it? Because
it's n-
yesterday you kept talking about the Exodus and didn't address the actual prophecy from Jeremiah. That we was
right
talking
because
about.
that's
All
what
right,
the
so
part
what is
that
the prophecy being fulfilled here?
so the part of the verse that you think is that you think he's referring to is
the one
the
he quotes?
fulfillment
Yeah,
of the
that's the one I think he's
prophecy
referring to.
is that is not that's what is referring to like Exodus.
There's nothing in here mentions an Exodus. I don't know where you're getting that from. And you're not getting away this time.
No, it's because Moses
Why are
is,
you bringing up Exodus when he's quoting Jeremiah? This don't
Right.
have anything to do with Exodus.
Yes, it does.
No, it don't. This is the new covenant.
Yeah,
Yeah?
it's still a covenant.
The new one, not the old one. This one don't have anything to do with Exodus. This is Matthew quoting Jeremiah saying this is a prophecy fulfilled from Jeremiah, not the Exodus.
Yeah, it has
So you're making
something to
shit
do
up.
with Exodus, though.
Yes, no, it don't. You're making that up.
Yes, I'm not making it up.
Yes, you are. This don't say anything about Exodus. Where does it talk about Exodus? Where does it say anything about it
Sure.
besides saying you broke the old covenant?
No, it's so when it says like King Herod ordered all the babies to be
Yeah,
unalive.
where's the prophecy that Herod's fulfilling about babies being unalived in Jeremiah 31?
Oh, it's not referring to a prophecy there.
Oh, so you don't know what you're talking about?
No, I do. There's a
No,
prophecy
you don't.
like
Matthew says this is a prophecy being fulfilled, and he gives the quote that it's from.
Mhm.
And you're
But
saying this is
that's
about
not
the
what
Exodus.
that's not what he's referring to when he says
Well,
this
then
is
you
the
need
prophecy
to
being
actually learn
fulfilled.
to read and go read what he's talking about.
Right. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like
Right,
if you
I know.
actually
You
look
need to
at the
go read it and
context.
actually understand what he's talking about because you don't. This is absolutely insane. So
No, if you read the
let's see
context
if you got a
on the
rebuttal
verse.
video for me today after
Mhm.
this one.
Yeah, but if you read the context on the verse,
I did. I know what the context is about, and that's how I know there is no prophecy here about a bunch of babies being unalived in and around Bethlehem from Jeremiah. And either way, the Exodus don't have anything to do with Herod or Bethlehem. So
okay, so
you have no clue. You looked up some AI stuff
you're
that gave you a weird answer, and now you're trying to push it out here.
no,
It don't make any
you're
sense.
wrong about all of that, bro. Like
No,
it
I'm not.
definitely is. It's referring to Exodus there.
It's not.
Yes,
Where
it
does it
is.
say anything about Exodus?
Yeah. So like
Yeah, show us.
yeah,
We're all
Herod.
waiting anxiously.
It's drawing the connection between Herod and Pharaoh from the Old Testament in
Where does
Exodus.
it say that? Where does it say that?
Yeah, because it's
Where
like
does it say that?
right where. Yeah, here. Let me go to the verse. What is that again? Matthew what?
Matthew 16, or Matthew chapter 2, verses 16 through 18.
Matthew 2:16.
Yeah, I already read it twice.
Yeah, I'll read it.
He needs to read it again for the third time. Maybe he'll get it this time, y'all. He's going to show us where it's talking about the Exodus. I'm excited.
Yeah, I will. Chapter 2, what verse? 18?
16 through 18. There's 3 whole verses here.
Okay. So, if we, starting at verse 13, It said
16 through 18.
Yeah, but you have, in order to get the context on this verse, you have to start
That's
at
a
13.
totally different part. That's a totally
No,
different
it's
prophecy.
the same. It's the same.
Nope, the
This
one
is
you're
all
talking
the
about
same
above
part.
is saying he fulfilled a prophecy from Hosea that's not even a fucking prophecy. It's it's a cherry picked half a sentence. So that don't have nothing to do with the massacre of the infants here.
No, this whole like segment, like verses 13 through
All right, well, let's just press it since you're on there.
verse.
Let me read
Yeah,
verse 13. It says, Now that they had left, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream and said, Get up, take the child and his mother, and flee to Egypt, and remain there until I tell you. For Herod is about to search for the child to destroy him. Then Joseph got up, took the child and his mother by night, and went to Egypt, and remained there until the death of Herod. This was to fulfill what had been spoken by the Lord through the prophet, Out of Egypt I have called my son. That is from Hosea 11, and it's half of a sentence that Matthew has cherry-picked and tried to apply it to Jesus as a prophecy, but if you actually just read it, it says, When Israel was a child, I loved him, and out of Egypt I called my son. So it's not even a prophecy. Matthew don't even know what a prophecy is. You clearly don't know what a prophecy is, because that's not a prophecy. It's cherry-picked half sentence that's retelling an Exodus narrative that's not a prophecy. We talked about this yesterday.
so
But it don't have anything to do with verses 16 through 18. It's given a different prophecy. And he quotes Jeremiah.
yeah, so yeah,
So all
then
you've done so far is point out that Matthew is just further doing what I'm saying and cherry picking sentences from the Old Testament and pretending it's prophecy that Jesus fulfilled.
right, it is. Yeah. So like
Yeah, it is. Pretending.
yeah, the entire story of like Moses is still like relevant to the
It's
new
not a
covenant.
prophecy. Do you know what
Yeah.
a prophecy is?
Yeah, how is it not a prophecy?
Because a prophecy is when God gives specific information or comforts to people
Yeah.
through a prophet. Hosea retelling
Right.
the Exodus, it's just a story. It's not a prophecy.
Why can't it be a prophecy if
Out of
it's
Egypt I called my
foretelling?
son is literally a half of a sentence that Matthew has taken and tried to say it's a prophecy about Jesus. But if you read the whole thing, it's clearly not about Jesus. It's about Israel, and it says the more they went from me, the more I called them, the more they went from me, and they were sacrificing to Baals and offering incense to idols. You think that's about Jesus?
No, what's about
I don't either.
Jesus is like the out of Egypt part, like in Egypt, Pharaoh,
Exactly. He's trying to say
under
this is a
Pharaoh's
prophecy being
rule.
fulfilled when it's clearly not. It's
No, it
clearly not
clearly
about Jesus. It's
is.
clearly not
I
a
don't
prophecy.
see how it's not, right?
I know you don't because you don't know what a prophecy is.
A prophecy is where like God foretells like something, like he reveals like something like prophetically, like through
Okay.
revelation to a prophet,
I
right?
agree. So
And
when Hosea retells the Exodus story and it says, When Israel was a child, I loved him, and out of Egypt I called my son, it's talking about Israel coming out of the Exodus, not Jesus fulfilling a prophecy. There's no prophecy there.
yeah, so Jesus is like the symbolic like Israel, like that's Israel
Oh,
in
it's just
that
like
verse is
symbolic
symbolic.
symbolic fulfillment there.
No. So like the Bible is
Oh,
like
no.
written, in like prophetic
All right.
language,
Well, what
right?
about Jeremiah?
So
You said that's about the
was
Exodus. What makes Jeremiah quoting, or what makes Matthew quoting Jeremiah about the Exodus? Why are you going backwards to a different passage to explain this one?
right. Because the story in Exodus about like the
What
origin
does that have to
story
do
for
with the massacre of
Moses.
the infants that is being quoted as a prophecy fulfilled in
Yeah,
Jeremiah?
it was a prophecy, about Jesus.
It
The
wasn't a
story of
prophecy, and it wasn't
Moses.
about Jesus.
Moses himself was like a prophecy about Jesus. Like
How is there a prophecy being fulfilled about babies being unalive from Jeremiah 31?
yeah. So when Moses was born, the Pharaoh like
Don't have
unalived
nothing to do
like
with Moses. I don't know why you keep saying that over and over again.
because
Your
when
AI is really
Moses
letting you
was
down, dog.
born, they unalived like a bunch of the male like babies.
Who did?
And Pharaoh did.
No, God did. Pharaoh never unalived any babies.
No, like
No, this is God. He sent an angel of death to do it. Pharaohs don't have angels of death. The Pharaoh didn't tell the Israelites to put blood over their door. You've got it all wrong.
so. Do you know this story about how Moses was like found in the river in a basket? Do you know why he was put into that
Hold
river?
on 1 second. I'm sorry there. Please, everybody watching, back me up a little bit here. If y'all think I'm roasting this guy, put a 1 in the chat. If he's AI apologetics are
Can you
completely failing here. I'm just
are,
curious. I'm just
are you
curious what
familiar
everybody's
with the
thinking there.
story of
All right, go ahead and
Moses?
keep talking there.
Yeah. Are you familiar with the story of
Hey, somebody
Moses?
backed you up. There's a 2 in there. Bunch of 1s, but there was a 2.
Can can you track the conversation?
Yeah, can you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, are you familiar with the story of Moses?
I am familiar with that.
Okay. Why was Moses put into a basket in the river?
Because they were plagiarizing Sargon the Great's story.
All right. So you're not really that familiar with Exodus. Let's
No,
let's
yeah,
go.
I am. I don't know why you think it's a prophecy, and I certainly don't know why you think Matthew is quoting a prophecy from Jeremiah that's about the Exodus. That's what I'm really trying to figure out here.
Sure.
I suspect you looked at AI and it brought up something about that, and that's the only thing in your mind now, so you can't argue anything else.
No. So like also, all right. So I'll give you more parallels like between Moses and Jesus. In addition to
Look, we're
this one,
talking
that
about
it's
a
actually like
specific
referring to.
prophecy in Matthew chapter 2, the
Right.
massacre of the infants. He quotes Jeremiah and says a prophecy is being fulfilled
Yeah. Do you know
from
what?
Jeremiah in this passage. And earlier you said he
Right.
didn't even say he fulfilled it, so you already got roasted on that one too.
Sure. So do you know what like Passover is?
Why are we talking about Passover?
Well, because during Passover and stuff, like the other part too, like this is like another parallel between this is when God like
I don't
gave
want
the
parallels. I want to know
right.
what this prophecy that's being fulfilled, claimed by Matthew, is.
Yeah, God gave
What
the
is the
order.
prophecy?
God gave the order for everyone to put like blood over their door.
All right, buddy. Well, thanks for coming. I think you've been thoroughly roasted here today. Holy moly. Name this prophecy. We're talking about Passover again. This is not a prophecy about Passover. Don't have anything to do with it. And the fact that you can't address what we're actually talking about here just shows that AI apologetics has utterly failed in this debate space. Don't worry though, transcendence. You were nice. You kept your cool, and that's cool. Yeah, that's how I know that the Exodus isn't a prophecy. It's a story, a narrative. It's a history. It's not a prophecy. You need to learn some stuff. He had the nerve to tell me yesterday I need to do more research before I debate God. Like, bruh, I think that's you. Even though you did have some fans here, so that's cool. You wasn't totally alone. Take solace in that. Take solace in that. All right. Who was the other guy saying? Nah, yeah. I was going to invite him up, but I don't think he'll come anyway. I don't want to, like, if he wants to come up, he can request up, I guess. But I'm glad Transcendence came back, though, especially after yesterday. God might love me, but I do not love him. I think he is imaginary and evil if he is real. So, all right, let's check it out. Pro Festival is kind a cooking. Barbecue grilling. Yes. All right, and again, thank you everyone for being here. Thanks for all the screen tapping and sharing us out. That's how we get these good conversations up in here. Got a little redemption, I feel like, for letting the dude off the hook too easily yesterday, so that's cool. Checking out some of the comments here. They're hard to watch when I'm actually talking to somebody, especially when I'm focusing on making sure a dude knows he's cooked this time, even though he don't. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate the shit out of that. That's how I grow this channel, is get more followers for real. And I'm doing pretty good, I feel like, so far. Like I said, I started this a few months ago. I had 11 followers, like people just I knew. Then I started. Now I'm well past 400, and they still piling up. They still piling up. But yeah, we let's see. We had somebody in there, but I guess they took too long with the other guy and they dropped out. So nobody in the queue right now. But they tend to always show up, so I'm sure it won't be long. We'll get us another one in here. I've got a while today, actually. My work day kind of fell apart, so I'll just sit here and do this all day. Until I get a fucking headache, that is. Actually, it's kind of fun. Oh, shit. But yeah, dude, come on. Matthew is saying a prophecy is fulfilled from Jeremiah 31. You have to show me in Jeremiah 31 what is being fulfilled. I do not know why you kept jumping back to the Passover. I do I do these right here, dog. Been doing these things for, I don't know, probably 15 years now. I'm pretty easy to stereotype there, I think. Like, have people at the gas station will be like, "What do you do for a living?" I'm like, you probably couldn't tell by looking at me, but that, yeah. Yep, that's all I do. Yeah, I have like I don't know, 6th or 7th grade was the last grades I completed. That's why I draw on people for a living, and that's why I'm not a rocket scientist or some sort of physician. Although I did get a, what do you call it, a GED, a high school equivalency. It's pretty funny. I had a guy one time say, that's not the same. I'm like, really? What does equivalent mean? It's like, well. But yeah, I love doing it. It's cool. Like, especially like memorial tattoos and stuff people get. Like, I love doing that stuff, giving somebody a good memory and all that. And I do it for a very fair price. Well, it's subjective to, I suppose, like my morals. It's so weird when I get it, like, whose morals are you using? Like, whose do I have besides mine? Like, I just don't understand. Like, some of the questions you get are just like, wow. I'm not attacking anybody, bro. This is a debate space. If you want to come debate me, come debate me. I ain't walking up to churches on the sidewalk and gaslighting them people. This is a channel for these things. Like, if you want to debate these things, you enjoy talking about them, like, all that stuff, like, you come here and do it. Like, I'm not chasing people down on the street and be like, why are you a Christian? They're awful. No. This is a space where you can come and do this if you so choose. That's it. That's all there is to it. All right, so what do we got here? Oh. Crap, must have been an accident. Thought we had somebody in there. It was an accidental one, I think. It says they ban me when I talk about our Lord and Savior, Bald Jesus, and Nicolas Cage. What? Nicolas Cage might be, I don't know, I'm assuming he's never genocided anybody, so maybe I should praise him. Huh. It's crazy that no matter who I'm talking to, I would, if you like compared them with God, like who really deserves it, like that's probably them. I mean, as far as I know, they ain't genociding anybody. Well, wild stuff, guys. Anyway, if we don't get someone in here in just a second, I'm going to jump back over there and we're going to read Jeremiah 31 because I want everybody to know that AI apologetics talking about the Passover does not prove that there is a fulfilled prophecy about infants in Jeremiah 31, because that's not what it's about. Jeremiah 31 is partly about the joyful return of the exiles from Babylon, and the rest literally tells you what the new covenant is. Ironically, no Messiah is dying for anybody. Actually, it clearly says each will die for their own sins in this new covenant. So Messiahs don't save anybody. Messiahs are just the ruler from among the Israelites who's going to be king over the Israelites and rule justly and shit. That's all the Messiah is. Where did I go to? I thought I had to. Oh, yeah, I do. I got a bunch of tabs up here today. Got a bunch of tabs. The Trinity is one of the main reasons you don't believe. Yeah, I mean, obviously we're atheists and stuff and we consider the Trinity illogical, but I really don't think that's, well, it kind of is, but it depends. Like, if you just read Mark, like, there's no birth narrative or anything. Jesus basically starts off in the earliest Gospels as just a preacher who's saying, I'm not good, only God is. You got to answer to God, keep his laws. That's what gets you to heaven. He's basically a preacher, but that got turned into, over time, Jesus being like God himself, and Jesus dying and judging people. Like, it just spirals out of control theologically. But, you know, if you're going to make the argument that Jesus died for sins, then you have to make Jesus God himself, because only God can like wash away people's sins and transgressions, right? So if you're saying Jesus did that, then you have to make Jesus God, because it clearly says, I am the only one who can save you in the Old Testament. That's God talking. That's God talking, y'all. Oh shit, I think we got somebody. What's up? Let's see here. We have one. He has a scary mask. I don't know. All right, let's bring one up and see if he's a Christian. Load him in here.
What's up, bro?
John, you there? What up?
Yeah,
You look
bro.
up.
So this is my thing, bro. On your
Just got to
topic of
confirm real
discussion.
quick though. You're over 18, right?
Yeah, bro. I'm 24.
Okay, good. And you're a Christian, right?
Yeah, I'm a Christian. Yeah, I'm a Christian, but I have my own beliefs and
Okay,
I'm
cool.
my own theories and stuff. I believe you are your own God. I believe you have a different conscience to yourself. So you can have a lower, you can have a lower mid, a mid high, and you can have a higher. I feel like the higher you go, the closer you are to God. God can only be yourself. Everything is portrayed that, yeah, there is a God that you're praying out to, but the God that you're praying out to is your highest God. And that's just my belief. I grew up in a Christian Baptist church, and I feel like whatever anybody believes in is what they believe in ultimately. I feel like wherever giving context to your mind, just say, hey, if I believe I'm gonna do this and you do it, then that's the same thing to you saying, hey, I believe in God, I'm going to heaven, or I believe
So
in
you don't
I'm
believe
believe.
Yahweh is ultimate being outside of space and time?
I think God is whatever you believe it is to be, because everybody has their way of God, or what
Okay.
God can be, or who God is.
Well, man, that's cool. I respect that, but I don't think that lines up with biblical stuff here or Christian doctrine.
You debating atheists, God is evil, Jesus fulfills zero prophecies, Christians are under the law. I'll interrupt. Where do you get the concept that God is evil?
He does evil shit all through the Old Testament. Like unaliving David and Bathsheba's infant son, having 10 of David's wives raped for what he did, genociding an entire group of people for what people 400 years before that did. He has a bunch of Saul's kids impaled on a hill before him, and apparently that made him so happy that he unleashed this famine that he had on people. That don't
You
sound evil
you
to you?
you want to know what's super crazy, bro? And I'm just be so real, bro, because it's life. I don't give a fuck. I'm a Christian, bro. I don't fucking know shit about the Bible, bro. I'm a Christian because I grew up in a Christian household, bro. You know what I
That's
mean?
why I
So
was a
so
Christian, yeah.
but I'm not gonna say I don't believe in them, but I mean, that like
That
shit like
stuff
that
don't
is
sound
not
evil to you?
portrayed. Yeah, it sounds evil to me, but that's gonna be something I'm gonna have to go in and look up under my own terms, because I've never, truth to God, whoever you want to call it, I've never heard any of that before. But I mean, everybody
Well,
sins
you
though.
should
That's why
probably
we
read
say,
it because there's a
God
whole
died for
lot
our
in there
sins.
like that.
Huh? That's interesting. That's very interesting.
Can
Yeah, but bro, I
can
didn't come
God
in here to
die?
ramble and stuff. I just wanted to give. You said, can God die?
Yeah.
Of course, God can die. Of course, God can die. We
Doesn't sound
die.
like much
We're
of a
we're
God.
we're all flesh and blood.
That's not gods. That's just people.
That's just people. I mean, God was a person. I mean, that's something we ultimately celebrate. I mean, what? I
Well,
don't really believe everything I'm told, so I go through all this, all my spirituality based under my own circumstances and how things, form in my life. So the God, like, yeah, I believe in a God, but um I believe in a God, and I'm willingly and knowing that He will always make the best decisions for me. Do I typically know what God that is? No, but guess what? He'll show me the way eventually. That's what life is, a learning experience. God, who we say God learned life, all His knowledge through life experience, and that's what we're doing. We're literally doing the same thing, except they say we're walking in His shoes.
sure, but you're not sounding at all like a typical Christian right now.
What do I
Like,
sound
I'm not
like?
sure we
On
even have
what
like a
what would you?
debatable point here.
Yeah, I mean, just my point of view. I mean, I may come in here and sound like a dumbass, and and not on topic with whatever, but I just wanted to give my 2 cents on that. There's people out there like this. I accept your beliefs and what you believe in, and I just think that's everybody should be accepting of everything, because everything is what everybody perceives. Perception is everything. What you put out there to believe for yourself is what you're going to ultimately believe at the end. So I mean, who can ever tell you in your lifetime that you're wrong, or that you're right or wrong for believing in something, so you can so it's like you can
I
say God
definitely
is
think
evil, God
Christianity is
is,
wrong if you believe in it, because I think Christianity is wrong.
then we can say that about everything. We can say atheism is wrong. We can say being
How's
Muslim is wrong.
atheism
We can say
wrong if
all that
there's
is
no
wrong.
gods? That means we're right.
And who makes y'all right? Who how do you wake up and say I'm right?
I don't
Who
say I'm
gives you
right.
that? Who
I
gives
say
you
all the evidence lies with me and not Christians.
but who says that y'all are right though? How who said that,
Has anybody ever
Christians are just
demonstrated
lying
that
about
gods are
everything?
real? Can you prove a
Have
God
you
exists?
demonstrated that he's not real? Have you demonstrated that he's
I
not
have
real
no
though?
reason to think he's real, and I'm not the one saying he is real. If people are saying he is real and this is the truth, then they should be able to demonstrate that, not just say it's a faith position. Just don't do
So
anything
so
for it.
so because you don't have your forsaken your forsaken sight on him, so you just believe he's not real.
I don't see any
I
reason to
mean,
think he is real.
I mean, so what gives you the reason to think he's fake?
Can you show us that he is real?
Can you show us that he's fake? So that's what I'm
I'm
saying.
not
Who's
the one
wrong?
claiming he's
I,
real.
I'm
That's not
I,
how the burden of proof works, man.
I mean, but you said
You can't make something up and tell me to disprove it. That's ridiculous.
exactly. It's the same way you can't make something up and tell me
Exactly.
that.
I'm not making anything up. I'm saying if you saying a God is real, then prove it, or else I'm justified in saying I don't think it's true.
I mean, you're right. I mean, but we evidently we don't know anything. So you can be right in your concept, but I can be right in my concept. But it's
I
you
don't
can't
think
say
so. If
that
you're saying
there's
you're
no.
right because God's real, and I'm saying I'm right because they're not, only one of us is right.
But who told you that you were right? Who is right
I
and
never
who is
said I was
wrong?
right. I never said I was right. I'm saying a bunch of people say there is this God. He's the truth, the one and only. This is the ultimate
hmm
truth. And I say, prove it. And they're
hmm
like, well, that's a faith position. So,
Yeah, I mean, evidently it all is faith, because
yeah, exactly. It's
A
not based in
Christian.
any sort of facts. It's not based in any sort of reality. And it's worse than that, because the book that all this is based on is clearly deeply, deeply flawed.
Deeply flawed.
Yeah.
So you think, like, the great flood and all that, and Moses parting the sea. They say Moses parting the sea. They have scientific evidence. That actually came out a few weeks ago. You can go actually look that up. Scientists
There ain't
discovered
no
that
scientific proof of miracles, man.
it's not a miracle if it's
If somebody
scientific, though.
actually proved scientifically that a miracle from the Bible happened, they would be the most famous person in the world overnight.
Hold on, she said he's talking about the Bible and drinking a bottle of wine. I do what all Christians and shit do. I can walk into a fucking church and look a type of
Jesus
way, and they
turned
be
water
like,
into wine. Like, the first
yeah.
miracle Jesus ever did was a fucking party favor.
I don't even know. See that, and that's that's why I can say I'm a Christian, but I'm not, because you have Christians. You can walk into a congregation, and it doesn't matter what you're doing, what you look like. You're just there to praise God, right? In your form, in your eyes. But it's gonna be always that one Christian in that whatever to say, "Oh my God, look at what he's doing. Look at what he's wearing." But we're there praising the same
Bunch of
person.
judgmental assholes,
That's
it sounds like.
exactly. So that's why I'm a Christian. I believe in my own thing, but I don't go to church for that simple reason. How can
That's why the
we
church
be?
attendance has been dropping for nearly a century
Yeah,
now.
because how can we be praising the same God,
You
but you're
can't.
out here judging me? You know what I mean? So that's where I come into part with all of it. That's why
Yeah, it
I
just looks
believe
bad. It looks
Christians.
hypocritical, right?
It looks very hypocritical, and they never seem to understand that. Everybody just so stuck. Oh, I'm gonna live by this, but I'm gonna do this. But at the end of the day, you're still gonna be judgmental. You're still not living by the 10 Commandments. You're still not walking truly in faith, because you're still doing fucked up shit too. So how can you?
Well, there's a lot more commandments than 10, though.
Yeah, well, Exactly, bro. Like I say, I'm a Christian because I grew up in. I was forced to go to a church. You know, I never had the chance to, but I do have my own concept. I believe in what I believe in. And you know, it's just you know, it is what it is.
But why do you believe it? Just because you're
Um,
supposed to? You was raised that way?
I believe it because I feel like I've had my own spiritual personal experiences and stuff. Um,
Fair enough.
you see how Christians can say stop call. No, I mean, bro, I read the Bible, bro. So they can say whatever they want to. I'm trying to get my own understanding. People always want you to feel rushed by whatever you're trying to believe in. Why can't I take my time? You see how they're down here saying, how they're down here saying, "Oh, he's lying." But they're all
Well, I'm
Christians, though.
pretty
You know,
sure earlier you said you've never read the Bible, and then again you just said you read the Bible.
I mean, I didn't mean to say I read the Bible, but I do have a Bible right here, though. I meant to say it like has my name and shit on it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say I sit up here and read it and shit. I'm not gonna that. But I have my own theoretical thoughts on this shit. You know, I believe in a God, but I believe in what I believe God is. And I mean, who the fuck can tell me that I can't believe in what the fuck I want to believe in? You know what I mean?
Nobody. You can believe whatever you want. That's well within your
Whatever the
rights.
fuck you want. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, um,
I think we should believe true things that can be shown to be true. Maybe that's just me.
I believe everybody should be comfortable believing what they want to believe. Everybody wants to have this fucking uh everybody wants to be out, oh, I praise God, and but nobody's really fucking doing that. Like, you know, nobody's dropping to their knees praying every fucking day. People out here doing the
I
same
don't
fucked
know.
up shit behind closed doors. Then they're going to church on Sunday and put their hands up into the fucking air. Nobody's living true to themselves, bro. That's why everybody's so fucking just, I don't know, bro. I'm
Well,
just
I mean, I
ranting.
hear you, man, but do you got an actual debatable point of Christianity here?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, bro. I mean, that's what I think about Christians, bro. I mean, uh, why would
Well, I
you
appreciate
worship
you
a
coming and sharing
narcissist
that, but we're
blood?
more of a debate thing here. So,
All right, bro. You have a good one, bro.
back at you, dog. Thanks for coming up. Disconnect
Yeah.
one that confused me. Yeah, I appreciate you coming up, man. Um, yeah, it's a perspective there, but not really too interested in testimonials here. Just the debate side of things. That's what people find entertaining. That's why we got a quarter century worth of people in here right now. So we got several more people in the queue. We got, let's see, what do we got? We got Chad and we got Contrary Warrior. So give me, I don't know, 2 minutes tops and let me take a real quick bathroom break, and then we are going to bring up the next person and see what's up. Anyway, y'all hang out for 2 seconds. Let me run to the restroom real quick. 2 minutes, I'm out. All right. Roar. All right. I was devastated to learn earlier that I'm out of chocolate milk. So I've been drinking water all morning, and it goes right through me. All right. All right, let me get the next one up in here. Let's keep it rolling. I'm pretty sure Contrary Warrior was the next one. Let's bring it. Let's see if he's still in here. Oh, he's not. He couldn't wait 2 minutes, so let's bring up Chad. Chad's got some patience. There we go. Slow Chad in here. Thank you so much.
What's up,
Chad,
bro?
you there? What's going on, man? You're over 18, I guess. You got a fabulous beard. You look over 18.
Oh, thanks, bro.
You're welcome. I wish I had one.
Oh, you're good, man. It's how it works, though. Well, here's the thing, though. See, I ain't got no hair up top of my head, whereas that's where you do. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
So where I
Yeah, I
get
got long hair.
complimented. Yeah, see where I get complimented. Yeah, anyway, it's so it's all good.
Sweet. So you're one of the Christians?
Yeah, I believe in Christ. I mean, I believe in Jesus Christ, and He's my Lord and personal Savior. Like I understand. Like I was listening to you and that fella that you just had up here, and he, the thing is, I wanted to add something to that. He was talking about how you go into churches and people are judging you and everything like that. And it sucks. I know exactly what he's talking about, man, because I've went through the same thing, and I still do. He will until everybody will. You know what I mean? It's just a way that it is. And it's actually, if you really look at it, it's a good thing, dude, because if you're really about trying to improve your life or whatever, and people are going around running you down, saying negative things about you that ain't true, just brush it off and keep going. Stay focused on what your goal, because when you let everybody else start to bring you down, that does actually shift you away from the ultimate goal that you initially had, and that sucks. So someone else.
Sure. I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with that, but so what makes Christianity true, though? Like, what makes Jesus the Lord and Savior?
Well, dude, I know I heard you before you brought me up. I heard something that you said, and I was sitting here thinking within myself. I was like, Lord, you got to forgive me for the way that I speak here, but I'm sitting here thinking, like, Lord, I'm like, I'm like, he's just sitting here talking about he ain't trying to hear no testimonies. I'm like, I don't know what to tell him. I'm like, I can use the word of God to tell him some stuff. I'm like, but you got to be open to that. That's one thing individuals have to understand, and it's obvious.
Well, I was a Christian until I was almost 30 years old.
Oh, really?
Like open enough? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. I didn't know that, but now that I do, thank God. But yeah, that's cool. You know what? I know your struggle. I know what you were going through and everything. I don't know how you found your faith, but I know your struggles. I do, and I can, as a man.
Well, I'm an atheist. I dropped faith.
Yeah, I know. I used to be. Well, I wasn't an atheist, bro. Actually, I'm 43, but I grew up. I actually did grow up in the church. My parents took us all to church. I didn't want to be there for the most part initially, but I had a near death, and that. After that, I was about 5 years old, After that, it seemed like I wanted to be at church for some reason. And then my whole life after that, it was like, and trust me, my mom and dad separated from, divorce and all that. So it hasn't been easy too, I can relate to other people, but, thank God. But anyway, I've always believed in God, dude. So I can't tell you, if you ask me, like, well, where did you find your faith? I can't tell you that. In the church?
Well, my question would be more like, why do you keep your faith in the face of this kind of stuff up here?
Good question, my dude. Good question. Now, I want to give you an answer to this, but I don't want you to take it the wrong way. So if you'd let me explain, that'd be cool. And I'll try to be quick as I can. I keep my faith because I have no choice. And it's not
you
because
have a choice, I assure you.
Well, right. Yes, you do have a choice. Yes, but you don't, because after, like, I've seen in my 43 years, I've seen Christ twice in my life. Literally, that's no joke. And I've had some other, you could call them spiritual, but also physical experiences, like seeing orbs, like right in front of me and stuff like
Well,
that.
I mean,
But anyway,
sure, but that's not really going to get us anywhere as far as. That's why I don't really go by testimonials here.
Right, yeah,
I mean, a Muslim
I
can
know.
come up here and say they saw Allah. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
not going
well,
to get us
dude,
anywhere
yeah.
as far as truth.
Well, if you really want to know, you got a good point, because then I'm going to actually justify what you say. Actually, I ain't going to justify you, but the Lord does, and the reason why is because even Paul, who was an apostle of Jesus Christ,
He said he wasn't worthy of being an apostle.
Right. But he himself, and that's the transition that you see right there, my dude. Like, that it has to be real beyond that, because if you got a man literally claiming that, like, I don't even deserve this, you know what I mean? You got to know that there is some truth.
Yeah, unfortunately, he was a heretic.
To that, Well, dude, you know what, though? Just like what you said about testimonies, really think about what you say there. Because when you mentioned
I've thought about it.
Right. Well, when you mention testimonies, or like, I can come up here and say whatever I want, but you may not be able to believe me because you ain't share the same experience, so you may not know. But you ain't gonna have that same feeling. You know what I mean? But
Right.
so it's
Yeah,
the
that's
same
why I
thing.
do debatable topics like the Bible. Like, we can get to who's right or who's wrong here through Scripture, I think.
Yeah, true. But anyway, Paul, bro, he had an out of body himself, and he didn't even care to tell people because he was afraid of getting caught in boasting about
Yeah, but he
that.
wrote
But we
over
don't-
half the
yeah,
New Testament.
yeah. I mean, yeah, he did. Yes, amen. Yes, he did.
Well, sure, I hear you, man. But do you have one of these debatable topics you want to go off here? This is
Well,
sounds
let me
more like
look.
a testimonial, actually.
Let me look real quick. So, debating atheist.
So, yeah, God is
dude,
evil.
I
Jesus
can't
fulfills
I
zero
can't agree with
prophecy.
you there, my dude. I can't agree with you there. Now, look, I'm going to tell you something. Like,
Perfect.
the thing is, like, I can't sit here and say that just because of the experiences I had in my life that I know God more than you, or he knows me more than you, or vice versa, because that's not true. Because I believe that the Lord knows everybody, and that's the way it goes. But as far as being evil, no way, my dude. That's the selective part of this thing. Like when I read,
unalive and innocent babies is evil.
no, bro, no, because
You don't?
if you really want my answer on this, I'm gonna give you the
Yeah,
answer.
we're gonna need you to explain
I
that one because it just
understood.
sounded.
Okay.
I don't want everybody
Okay, good.
listening to hate you or nothing.
Nah, I don't really care, bro. They hated Christ. They're going to hate me too. You know what I mean? But some are going to
Well,
understand.
I mean, you're saying it's not evil to unalive innocent babies. That's just pretty scary.
No, so hold on. I'm going to explain, right? The way that I have come to understand what you're talking about. So when I read the scripture, right, when I look at the Father, when I look at the Lord back in the Old Testament, and I look at what he was doing, I see that he was trying to take a people, human beings. Now, we're not going to say one particular person anymore, all right? Because we know that the good gospel was delivered to everybody. We know that Jesus Christ died on that cross and was resurrected in 3 days for not just the Israelites or the Jews, but for everybody. We know that. We're not dumb. So
Well,
anyway,
everybody
when
who
we look
believes
back,
it, right?
when we look back to the scripture,
that's
yes,
not
you're right,
everybody.
for everybody that believes it. But anyway, when you look back in the scripture, what the Lord was doing, I can see what he was doing, and that comforts me. And that justifies his actions. Firstly, he's
So
the
it's
God.
comforting to you that he unalived
Well,
innocent babies?
hold on, bro. You're coming up. You're still saying the same thing, but you haven't listened yet. So hold on. Let me finish what I'm going to say, and then
Well, you
you'll
haven't
maybe
explained
understand
yet.
what I'm saying. So
Yeah, make
when
that
you
okay.
really look, first of all, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Not you, not me, not anybody else. God created man. God created woman. He meant for us to live in equality with him, to live in his goodness and his glory. Okay, but instead, the devil deceived Eve and led her down the wrong road. She, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
but
You
God
know
is the
that
one
story.
doing this
You know
stuff
the
that I'm talking
story. So
about.
you already know the story. So we don't have to reiterate it. So anyway,
Do
if
you
you
know the
really
story?
look at the actions, if we really look at the actions
Sir,
of the
are you
Father,
there? You got to respond to
yeah.
me. This is a conversation. I don't want to hear preaching.
I'm here, bro. Just hold on. So if you really
Yeah,
look
but
at the
you just
way
keep on preaching. You're not getting to the actual point here
you keep on interrupting, bro. So I mean,
because you're
I'm
not
sitting
getting to
here.
the point.
You're the one sitting here being argumentative. Really look at yourself, my dude.
This is a debate page,
Let
my
another
dude.
man tell you that out of love that you right now keep interrupting.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming up, buddy, but when nobody's interested in your sermon here, this is a debate page. People want to hear debates, so let's stick to debatable points. So, y'all heard it there, though. He straight up said he didn't think it was evil to unalive innocent babies, and he was explaining, but I have no idea where he was going with that because it just sounded like a sermon. So nobody wants to hear that. Sorry. I'm sure he was a great guy, though. Honestly, I'm sure he was a fine guy. That's why I'm nicer to people. Not when you make a rebuttal video telling me if I'm going to debate people, though, like the transcendent guy. The nerve. The audacity of some folks. The audacity. If you're going to debate people about God, you should understand. Like, maybe you should understand. Like, holy shit. Yeah, sorry, my nose is running a little bit again. Whew. Yeah, I'm sure he's great. That's why I try to give people a little bit of credit because, like, I think a lot of atheists, especially militant ones, have an opinion like since the Bible endorses slavery, they think Christians are all okay with slavery. But I guarantee you, the vast majority of them don't even know that's in there. And the ones that do know it in there, they usually think it just means indentured servitude. So they're basically just pulling themselves out of that. So I'm not going to hold them to something like that just because the book says, All right. So, we do still have a couple people here. We got Sojourner Apologetics. Holy shit, I like the sound of that. And this motherfucker has a fantastic looking beard, so let's bring him up. Sojourner, you there?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. You're over 18, I imagine, by that glorious beard you got, right?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm 32. I grew it myself, by the
Awesome.
way.
Good job. All right, man. You're one of the Christians, I imagine, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So which topic do you like up here?
I mean, let's see, there's God is evil, Jesus fulfills zero prophecy, Christians are under the law. I believe all those things are false. I just clicked on right before I sent in my request.
That's cool.
And I assume, based on the last caller, this unaliving of innocent babies was probably a reference to the Amalekites, I imagine.
Well, that's one of them, but I was talking about David and Bathsheba's infant son and the fact that he had 10 of David's wives. Great for what David did. But yeah, the Amalekites
where I would go
that one up all the time. Yeah.
Where I would go is before even getting into the stories, I would ask as an atheist, what moral objective standard are you using that you say God is violating?
I get that a lot. I'm using actual standards like well-being, health, and happiness, stuff like that. If you diminish those, you're doing something immoral onto another person. So.
Well, but if the atheistic worldview is true, those standards are all completely relative or subjective.
Yeah, they are subjective, yeah.
So if morality is subjective, that means that it's subjective to the person viewing it. So whereas you might have a preference not to do those things or you personally disagree with them, you wouldn't be able to absolutely condemn anyone else's other subjective choices.
I can based on those standards, yeah.
Yeah, but they're your own personal.
If you're causing harm, I'm well within my rights to say you were committing an immoral atrocity. Yeah.
But you would have to phrase it, if you're going to stick to the atheistic worldview, that they're committing something that violates your opinion, not an absolute standard.
That's all we have, opinion. There's no such thing as objective morals, man.
Okay, so
like for example, I can ask you.
You mean objective? You mean objective?
What?
You said there's no such thing as subjective morals, but
no, I said objective,
you mean objective
morals. Yeah.
Okay, I thought you said
Did
subjective.
I say subjective? My bad.
I think you might have, but it's irrelevant.
I do that all the time. Actually, I didn't mean to.
I do too. I do too.
Okay.
So if morals,
prove
are
to us
subjective,
that objective morals exist. What's an objective moral, and what makes it objective?
So I would say Schmurder. Hold on, y'all might hear my 4-year-old in the background. Hold on, Bubby. Hold on, Bubs. So I would say that something that's objectively immoral is the unwarranted or unjustified taking of an innocent life.
Okay, so when God does that, why is it objectively immoral?
So what you have to then do is, first off, if we're going to talk about morality, if yours is subjective, there's no such thing as morals to begin with. But then if we actually get into the theological worldview,
No, that's not true at all.
God is the sovereign. If God is the sovereign, when you say, "Oh, he took innocent lives and this, that, and the other," well, now you have the burden of proof to prove that everyone who died was innocent, and all of these other standards
Oh,
that
I
you
would
say
love
were
to. I can
violated.
do that, actually. Yeah. I can do it based on the words of what the Bible says.
Daddy, I need help.
But
You
where
want to just read
where
it?
I would go to is inside the atheistic worldview is not only does that necessitate that morals are subjective. That would mean
Yeah, morals are
logic,
subjective.
truth.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But okay, but what about logic, truth, knowledge, everything like that? Are those objective or
about
are
it?
those also subjective?
They're subjective.
So logic is subjective?
Anything in a human brain is subjective because human brains are fallible. So it's all subjective
Is
by
that
its very
is that
nature.
is that statement you just made subjective?
Yeah. Sure.
So then any knowledge claim you make, any
Okay, well, just
claim
let me
any
ask
claim
you.
at
We
all
can
that you
settle
make
this
is
real
subjective.
easy, actually. So, do you think it's objectively immoral to unalive innocent babies?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
But
so when
but
God does
you
that,
don't.
why is it not objectively immoral anymore?
But see, what we just determined was that all logic, knowledge,
Can't you
truth,
just
morals,
answer the
everything is
question?
subjective. So your worldview just refuted itself.
I have
We
literally
can't
been
we
sitting
can't
here the
move
whole
past
time
that.
saying this is subjective, so I don't understand why you can't just answer the question.
Right. So if everything is subjective, which includes knowledge, logic, truth, and things like
It's
that,
still
your
wrong, even if
worldview.
it's subjectively wrong. It's still based on an actual standard that can be shown to be true.
No, you're missing you're missing the point of you just
And
said
you're
every
dodging the
single
question
thing.
now. So, is it
No,
is
I'm
it
not dodging the
objectively
question.
immoral to unalive innocent babies? Yes or no?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so when God does it, it's objectively immoral, right?
God didn't do that though. That's the whole claim.
He did. You want to read it?
I've read it. I've read it all.
Oh, okay. Well, here in this verse in 2 Samuel, it says, "Thus says the Lord, I will raise up trouble against you from within your own house, and I will take your wives before your very eyes and give them to your neighbor." Then he says, "The Lord struck down the child whom was born to David." So this is definitely God doing this.
That's fine. That's
Okay, so why
not
is
the.
it not objectively immoral when God
So
does it?
what you're now conflating is if you're going to step into the Christian paradigm, what you're now conflating is that any action a human makes is exactly the same as one that God makes.
I'm saying this is the standard that I'm judging by. Right? So we have this standard of justice that we understand is justice, getting what you deserve, an eye for an eye even. You can say that. This isn't an eye for an eye. This is God unaliving people for what other people did. So if you're saying it's objectively immoral when God does it, if you're not saying it's objectively immoral when God does it, then all of a sudden your morals have become quite subjective.
No, that's not
Yeah.
not the Christian worldview. Nor is
Yeah,
that the
no,
necessary
y'all have a flawed
implication of
worldview,
it.
and I'm trying to show you the mistake here.
How does a Christian have a flawed worldview when you said any type of
Because
information or
you're
knowledge
saying that
claim that you
things are
make is
objectively
subjective?
immoral, but they're becoming subjective
already
when we
admitted-
place your God into that role.
You can't call a worldview flawed when you admitted from your own worldview that any type of knowledge, you even said that logic was subjective.
Well, we have
How
laws
does
of
anybody else have
logic.
a flaw? Are they objective or are they subjective?
Sir, is it objectively immoral when innocent babies are unalived? You said yes. God does that.
It is.
Why is it,
it is-
not immoral when God does it?
It
Answer
is
the
not
question,
object.
please.
It is not objectively immoral for the giver of life to decide what he
Oh,
does
okay.
with
So
life.
you've just demonstrated that it's become subjective when you place your God into this
No.
role. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
just saying yes doesn't prove it.
It does.
It is not. It
You
is
have
not.
literally
It is
just
not.
agreed that innocent babies being unalived is objectively immoral. So if God does that, it's objectively immoral. You have no other recourse.
This is
It's
the
either
conflation that I
objectively
just pointed out.
immoral or it's not. That's it.
No, this is the false conflation that you're making. To say that God and human
Okay.
action
Well,
or
what makes
choices.
it okay when God does it?
God is the sovereign giver of life. God cannot do
Okay, so you're just
anything
saying God
immoral.
can do whatever He wants, and that's just the end of that, right?
So God can do whatever he wants, but because of the
Yeah,
essence
I
of
know.
God, it
That's
is
what I'm saying.
impossible for
That's
him
the
to do
flaw in your
anything that is
thinking. You're giving a
immoral.
pass to your God for doing stuff that you know is objectively immoral, and that's not
No.
good.
Something objectively immoral or moral for me to do does not mean that God is bound by those same standards. I am
If you
not the
think something
sovereign
is
giver or
objectively
creator of life.
immoral, then it's
For
objectively
me
immoral
to
no matter
do,
who's
for
doing it.
humans to
Yeah, no
do, for
matter who it
mankind to
is. That's
do.
what objectively immoral
That's not
means. It
true.
means it's
That's not
always
true.
wrong. It is.
For
Do you agree
mankind.
that the Okay, do you agree that the basic definition of justice is getting what you deserve?
The basic definition of justice.
It'd be like if you
Yeah,
do bad stuff and bad
yeah.
things happen to you, that's justified, right?
Yeah. I mean, I can agree with
Okay.
that
All right,
definition.
perfect. So if you, just for example, say you
But your
committed a bunch
worldview
of
says
heinous
that that's
crimes and
subjective.
somebody, it is subjective. So just imagine for a second, say you committed a bunch of heinous crimes. Would it ever be justified under any circumstance to punish your 4-year-old son because of your crimes?
No, it would not be if I went out
Exactly.
and
So when
if I
God
went out
does
and
these
committed a crime.
things,
No.
it is not meeting our agreed on definitions of justice.
So this is where you are defining death.
Yeah, but we
as
just
punishment.
agreed on it. No, I didn't say nothing about death. I said a punishment. It's death in this case. But I'm saying, is it ever justified to give someone else the punishment for someone else? You just said no.
Here's the point. Here's the point. You just said that. Hold on. I said that you are conflating that death is always punishment. In the Christian worldview, death is not always punishment. Death is actually something
I
to
didn't
be
say death was
celebrated.
always punishment. I said death for
so
what
listen.
someone else did.
But the son was not punished. The son was not punished in that death.
After being made sick for a week.
If that child is lifted up to the presence of God, the one who received the punishment was David.
Where does it say that?
Who's the one remorseful and sorrowful over the death?
Who's the one unalive?
It's not the
innocent
son.
Babies here.
So this is the false conflation again. But it zooms past the point that you've already conceded that your worldview cannot make any claim whatsoever on anything.
Okay, so if you can't tell me an evil act that God seems to be doing, how could you possibly know if God is doing good or evil?
Do what now?
How can you tell? If God did something evil, how would you know?
God can't do anything evil.
If he did, how would you know?
Well, so that's I'm trying to wrap my head around the question and answer it.
If God did something evil, how would you know that it's evil or not? You have no standard to judge this God by. You're giving it an ultimate pass for anything it wants to do.
So the moralities that are the bounds that we have don't apply to God. 1 second.
Yeah, but we have our own bounds, and we've just agreed on what justice is. We agreed that it's never just to give you a punishment or give your son a punishment for something you did. So I don't understand how this God gets all these passes for everybody. And you're like, literally, like if this is your logic, you're literally saying you can't tell if God is doing good or evil because you're using divine command theory.
No,
It just means if God does it, it's good.
So what we also just said was that death is not a punishment. Death is not always a punishment. You even said that. So if God,
people just die. That's
David,
why I'm using a specific example here of God punishing someone for what someone else did. This is someone else's sin.
If God took David's son, that's not punishing the son, that's punishing David.
He unalived the baby, bro. Don't you understand? If you did something and I unalived your baby because of that, especially after making it sick for a long time, that's punishing the baby too.
Are you the sovereign giver of life? And what are you able to offer if you were to remove someone's life?
With a brain
what are you able to do after the fact?
What are you talking about?
If you take someone's life, what are you able? Because here's where the worldviews conflict is that you don't believe that there's a soul in an afterlife. The Christian does. So now you're either gonna you either have to step into the Christian.
You're saying it is okay because they're going to heaven after that, right?
In that case, yeah. So that's the whole
Okay,
point.
well then,
It's not a
all
punishment.
these
It's not a
like
punishment
Christians
for
in
the
Africa
son.
right now, like who's being unalive, that's okay. They're just going to heaven. No big deal.
So
That's
once
what
again,
Jesus
now you're
said would
conflating
happen.
the actions of now you're conflating the actions of men
That's what
to
you're
the
saying. You're
actions of God.
justifying it by saying it's okay that they were unalive because they got to go to heaven.
Who is the one doing it? That is important
God.
inside the paradigm. So
Yeah.
God is the one doing it in Africa.
God is the one aliving babies for what someone else did. Yeah.
Once again, you're now conflating. You just brought up African
I am
Christians who are being
conflating.
murdered.
I'm trying to use what I feel like is extremely simple logic, but it seems to be over a bunch of people's head.
You don't have logic. You've already said that logic is subjective, so you can't use logic at all. You've already admitted that, but you won't stick to that.
Okay.
If logic is subjective, then you have your own version of logic, and it's
No,
the
we have
logic
rules
that you
of
choose
logic.
to use.
We have rules
Is
of
that
logic.
universal? If that means they're universal,
No, it's up. There's
Then-
the rules
then
are there.
we
You
don't
can
have
accept them or
rules.
not if you want to. That's why I say it's subjective. If it was objective, everyone would agree on it.
that
We
doesn't.
would be arguing
So what you
about
just said doesn't mean that logic is subjective. You said it's subjective if a person wants to accept them or not. You said logic
it. Yeah,
itself
that's
is
what
subjective.
makes it ultimately subjective. But we have
No, it
rules of
doesn't.
logic, and if
No,
you
it
violate
doesn't.
those, it's illogical.
No, you're
Yeah.
not understanding subjectivity or objectivity. If
And for
logic
some reason, you're not
itself,
understanding that unaliving innocent babies is always wrong, even if it's subjective.
you just said that logic is subjective, that it's ultimately subjective, but there are ultimate rules that we have
Yeah,
to agree
exactly.
to.
Like
or
I'm
not.
using logic right now,
You're
but you're saying it's
contradicting
not
yourself.
logic. That's why it's subjective.
So let's start over. Is logic
All right.
ultimately subjective?
All right. What?
Is logic ultimately subjective? Logic itself, not my
Ultimately,
choice or
yes.
your choice. Yeah, right. And I'm not saying my choice or your choice to agree to the laws or to abide by the laws or to accept them. I'm saying logic itself. It is ultimately subjective.
Yeah.
Okay, then. What
I
that
know
means
y'all
is,
hate that. I know you can't stand that things are subjective, but you don't have a moral standard. Y'all are pretending
okay,
that it's there when
then
it's not. It's
no.
just
Then
makes you
if
look
your
bad, honestly.
if your logic is ultimately subjective, is it then reliable? Is your logic reliable if everyone's logic can be different? Is
Logic
it
doesn't
reliable?
get you to truth. Logic is just a tool
I
to
know
help us get
I
there.
know that logic cannot ultimately provide a truth. It helps you
Okay,
to
so
get
when
to
you agree
reason.
with me that it's never justified to unalive your son for what you did,
Stop.
then you have to
You're
apply that logically to
you're zooming
him,
past the
or else
foundation.
you're making a double standard.
You're zooming past the foundation of your own worldview.
We
I
don't need
didn't
a
say that
foundation.
logic.
We're agreeing on certain things. We've agreed. You said it is never justified to unalive your 4-year-old son for what you did. But you have a
Right,
double
and
standard
it's
when
also
it comes to this being right here.
I am not sovereign. There is a difference there.
Exactly. So it's a double standard, right? Just admit it's a double standard.
I don't know if I would classify it as a double standard, but yes, God is
It
able
has
to
to be.
act. God is able to act in ways that we are not.
It's
That
special
doesn't
pleading. You're
mean it's
making an
illogical.
exception to a universal rule to make it okay in this one instance. But you wouldn't do this for any other God but yours. If I
What do you
said
mean
this
by
was
that?
Zeus or Allah committing these atrocities, you'd be like, oh, yeah, that's evil. I ain't worshiping that God. But when we say it's your God, all of a sudden it's a sovereign issue.
No, so that's not the argument I would take in that scenario.
Yeah, but it's what you said, though.
Right, but what the example that you just gave isn't the argument that I'm making. I wouldn't say, because if I were to look at another worldview, say a different religious worldview, there is still, if we're understanding what a God is by the most basic definition, the giving and the taking of life wouldn't necessarily prove or disprove evilness. What you have to look at it in
Sure,
totality.
but either way, it is violating our definitions and our standard of what we think is good and evil. And if we, like I was saying earlier, if we ate some fruit of good and evil knowledge, then we have knowledge of this. We should know.
And we do know. That's why you know that a
You're
thing
not
is
driving,
evil.
are you?
But no, my son's playing in my truck, and he's got the door open right now.
Just making sure.
Yeah, no, but I understand the line of argumentation that you're taking. I do. I totally get it. But the problem is we can't move to step, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or the implications when you say that things like knowledge, logic, and truth are subjective.
It is
That
all
means that your
subjective. It's
worldview,
coming from our
then
brains,
your,
and that's what I'm saying. I know y'all hate that everything like this is subjective, but you can't
but
get
you're
to
not
objective
understanding the
anything because you
implications
can't
of that on your
because you
worldview.
can't show us that objective morals actually exist.
So, but you're not understanding the implications of your worldview if that's what you believe.
I am.
The knowledge claims, the ideas, the opinions, the presupposition, whatever it is that exists inside in your mind about anything you observe in reality, you're saying
It's
and you're
subjective,
arguing that you're arguing and saying that this is wrong, this is untrue, this is bad. But everything that I say is subjective,
based
and all
on
of the
standards. It's ultimately
and
suggestive,
all of the
but I'm
faculties
basing
that
it
you're
on
using to get
standards,
there are subjective.
definitions. Yes.
So if that's the case, anything that exists in your mind, any presupposition, any decision, any moral judgment, any value judgment, you would have to say, this is what I feel, or this is what I believe right now, but I can never trust
Based
it.
on
I can never adopt it fully as truth. No, you can never adopt or believe
You
in or
can't
affirm
either.
anything
You
that
just
exists
think
in
you
your
can
mind.
for some reason.
I don't believe that all of the faculties that I use and the things that they determine, like truth, morals, and things like that, are subjective. My
I know.
worldview
So
allows
prove
me
to
to
us
have.
that objectives or morals are objective. Prove to us. Go ahead and demonstrate it.
So that's not something that I can prove.
I know.
That's a belief.
Because they don't exist, or you could prove it.
Okay, then prove to me that
That's
logic
what
is
makes it subjective, because you can't objectively
that's
prove
so
something
you're
objective. If it's
that's not
objective,
what that
you can
entails.
prove it. Yes,
That's not what that
is.
entails. Prove that logic
Yes, it is.
Prove that the laws of logic are subjective.
There's laws of logic.
Prove that they're subjective.
They're subjective because even if I give you logic and you don't think that I'm being logical, then you've made it subjective.
No, that doesn't mean that the law is subjective. That means that
I'm saying
not
how
agreeing
you
to the law.
receive it is subjective. That makes it all subjective because we have to receive it to make it, even though we might be following a set of objective rules.
My denial or affirmation of it doesn't make the thing itself subjective. I'm asking about the thing itself. I'm asking about, let's just take one law of logic.
About objective morals that you're claiming exist, but you can't prove it. You claim
and
God
I've already
exists,
said
but
that.
you can't
I've
prove
already
it. Y'all are
said that
saying
I
a whole
cannot-
lot of stuff is true, but you can't prove it. That doesn't
But
look
you
good.
are. So here's the thing. You are too. Now, what I'm saying is
No, I'm
that
not.
I don't believe any human can, like, with, let's say, empirical data or anything like that, can approve objective morality. What we're doing is we're using the faculties
Yeah,
that we
because
have
they
to
don't
come up
exist, or you could prove it.
the reality that we perceive. Now, I can concede that
Sounds
I
like you're
cannot
agreeing it's
objectively or
subjective.
empirically prove that. No, I'm saying that I
Yes.
cannot objectively or empirically prove that. But
I
you
know.
just said that you're making a lot of claims that you can't prove, and you said that the laws of logic themselves are subjective, and I'm asking you to prove that.
I'm saying they're received subjectively, and I'm proving that by
I'm not
saying we
asking
are
about the
arguing about them
perception.
right now.
I'm not arguing or asking about the justification on if someone does or does not accept them or believe in them. I'm asking about the law itself. Like, let's say the law of
No,
non-contradiction.
the laws of logic
Is that
are
is that
objective.
objectively
Yeah, those are
true?
objective rules. Yeah, I've already said that.
Oh, no, this is the first time you said that the rules themselves
No,
are
it's
objective.
not. I've already said that. You just wasn't listening. I said the rules themselves are objective, but we receive them subjectively.
Okay, so the laws of logic are objective.
The rules behind
Truth.
them, yeah. You can't change the rules, yeah.
Okay, so let's go with, okay, we've established that the laws of logic themselves are objective. The next step, the next act of the mind would be apprehension or understanding. From understanding, we move to reason, which is how we determine a truth claim. That's the conclusion of the three acts of the mind. Is truth.
Can something
Does
that's
truth
absolutely
exist?
true be shown to be absolutely true?
Is truth itself? Is there an absolute knowledge, or is truth subjective?
Again, it's received subjectively, but there is objective truths, I think, yeah.
Okay, so where does an objective truth, an objective logic exist, but morals are subjective?
Because morals are a system that we devised in our own brains ourselves, and our brains, by their nature, are flawed. They're subjective.
Then how inside of that flawed brain that is corrupted morality, how then does truth and knowledge and logic stand up as objectively true?
Because we have to have
Inside that same
standards
flawed
to
brain.
prove those. Our truth has to comport with reality. If I'm claiming something is true, I should be able to show that it's true. Now, if you're wanting 100% objective truth, I don't know that we'll ever get there with anybody. And that's just the problem with human brains. But that's why I'm saying
So that claim I agree with. So that claim there I totally agree with. If inside the human mind, and I don't care if you're theistic or atheistic, what I don't believe is that any worldview can take any type of concept and objectively prove especially things like transcendentals, like values, morals, truth, knowledge, things like that. What we have to do is we have two different people who, from their perspectives, are looking for the best explanation, the thing that squares the most information.
Right.
So,
right.
And,
So the best we
and
can
every
do
worldview
is
and
come up
argument.
with definitions, agree on them, and see if what we're like testing here holds up to that scrutiny, right?
Yes.
That's the best we can do. So we make up definitions, concepts, subjectively, of course, but we can agree on these things. And if we agree on them and then we evaluate the words of what's going on, we can get to where our agreement is in violation or not. Whether that's an ultimate truth or not, that's up in the air. But we can agree on these things, yes?
I believe I can agree with that I say that just to, I think I'm understanding you correctly, so I think I can agree with the kind of framework you laid
That's
out.
why I ask questions like, do we agree on this basic definition of justice?
Yeah. So that's when
it's
we move
never
from like
just
terms,
to give somebody these
moving from like
punishments.
terms
So
to
when we
concepts,
agree
and things
on
like
that, we can evaluate the words after that and see if they hold up to what we just agreed on, and they don't.
So yes, so on that claim, it's never just to punish someone for the actions of another. Yes, you and I agree on that. You and I agree on that.
Now, even though I believe that is a subjective moral, there's no way around that. To me, there is no scenario that's going to justify unaliving innocent people for other people's crimes. Like it's not possible. You can't do it.
So that appeal goes to objectivity, and then
it don't. It's still subjective. But I'm saying, even though it's subjective, we're still agreeing on the thing, and there's still no scenario.
What if a society?
Where you can't justify it?
What if a society or a large enough group of people, if a society or a large enough group of people said that, hey, we all agree that this should happen. We should punish people for the wrongdoings of others.
Doesn't matter.
They all
That's
come
ad
together.
populum. That's ad populum. That's not what I'm saying.
You just said that that's how morals are established, as ad populum.
No, I didn't. I said
You said we come together and we agree on it.
We agreed on those definitions, me and you. I'm saying morality is a standard that is judged by actual standards like well-being. It doesn't matter if a whole bunch of people agree.
This is the conflict that I'm pointing out.
But we have that standard.
So that would make morals objective. If it's not ad populum, it exists regardless of the amount of people who come together and agree on it.
That's what I said earlier. I said we can base it on objective standards, just like you can logic. You can place objective rules in there, but ultimately the way it's received by people is ultimately always going to be subjective by its very nature.
So then what you just did to morality is the same thing you just did to logic earlier, saying that it's subjective if someone accepts it or not, but the laws of logic are objectively true. So what you just said was that if people come together and agree on morality, they're going to agree or accept it relatively, but the truth still exists, and therefore morals are just as objective as logic.
They're based on objective standards. Yes.
What logical standard applies to morality?
That's what I'm telling you. Health, well-being, harm, detriment.
These
are all things we use to judge morality.
Those aren't based in logic. Logic has nothing to do with those qualities or those values.
I'm telling you, those are the standards that I'm using to judge morality on. That's how we treat each other.
But if But if morality is subjective,
So it's an
and people
objective.
come together,
Well, this is what I'm saying. It's objective standard saying health and well-being. But we still have to. That's still ultimately subjective because we even have to agree on what health and well-being is.
how
Yeah, you
is
can
it
always have a
objective?
crazy
How is it
person jumped
objective?
in here.
How is it objective but ultimately subjective? That's contradictory.
No, it's not. Because health, well-being. If you promote these things, it's moral. So there's an objective standard there. Health
Why?
and well-being.
But I'm asking
That
you
is
from
the
a
standard.
relative
Now,
worldview.
how
Why?
it is applied that will always be subjective to whoever
From
it's being applied by. You might not consider it healthy the same thing I do. That's what makes it subjective.
But we can prove if a thing is healthy or not.
I know.
So when you say that morals are, you're using objective truths to determine reality, and then people interpret that subjectively.
Well, I said an objective
Either
standard, but that's
what
what I'm
is the
saying. We
objective
can argue
standard for
about the
morals?
standard. That's what makes it subjective.
What is
Health
the
and well-being.
objective standard to morals?
Health and well-being, promotion
Why
or
is it
diminishing of those.
from a relativistic worldview? Why is health and well-being good? How does a value
Because there's
judgment
no
exist?
such thing as an objective worldview. If it was objective, we wouldn't be arguing about it. We would
So
both
then
agree.
that would mean well-being, since it means nothing and it's totally subjective, it is meaningless. So you're using this word that ultimately has no meaning.
What do you think morals are?
What do I think morals are?
Yeah, what's morals and what's your standard for them? How do
So-
you get us to objective morals?
Because morals are objectively true. I believe that certain things are right, certain things are wrong,
What makes them
regardless of
objectively true?
the character and existence of God that we measure these actions against.
Well, God clearly seems to be violating everything we can agree on is moral.
No, he's not.
So ultimately, you're getting back to divine command theory. If God does it, it's good. But you can't. You have no idea whether God's doing it good or evil. You can't judge that standard by the standard you're giving God.
I do believe that the sovereign creator of all existence and the giver of life has the right to take life whenever he
I know,
sees fit.
but that doesn't mean it's moral or immoral. That just means God has the right to do whatever God wants to do.
But your subjective morality doesn't mean that it's immoral.
Well, in my subjective morality, it's always wrong to unalive innocent babies. So
That's
when your God does
universal.
that, He is violating
You
my
just made a universal.
standard of morals. No, I said
You
my
just
standard
made a
of morals.
universal claim. So you say subjective, but then you make a universal claim. Your worldview is self-refuting. That's what I was proving earlier.
No, it's not. I think yours is.
You just said that it's all subjective, but it's always wrong. If it's subjective,
I said it's always
it's never
wrong to me subjectively, even though
Okay,
I'm
for
subjective.
you.
You're not going to give me a scenario where unaliving innocent babies is okay, unless you can. You can prove me wrong right now. Make it okay.
So let me ask you this, since we're talking
Is
about
there any
relativity.
scenario where unaliving an innocent baby is okay?
Yeah, if God wants that
Can you
life
think
in
of a
heaven,
single one?
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
then
if God
you've
wants
made
that
it-
life in heaven,
okay.
absolutely.
Okay, there you go.
So let me ask you something about relativity, because this is what I'm getting at. You've said that morality is relative. Would you use the word relative in that definition that you gave? Would you use the word relative in the same way that you would say that someone's favorite color is relative to the person?
Wait, what?
Obviously, someone's favorite color, their choice in favorite color, that's a relative decision. It's totally subjective to the person. Would you use relative in both questions the same? Morality is relative, favorite colors are relative or subjective.
Sure, yeah. That's what subjective means,
Okay.
yeah.
So let's say my favorite color is green, your favorite color is red. Should you ever take any action against me if I don't hold the same favorite color as you?
Not and be justified, no.
Okay, then. So when you then say that morality is relative, but you've picked your definition or your parameters for morality, and someone picks a different standard
Yeah,
of
you
morality,
obviously don't have the same standards I do. Yeah, I agree.
but you think that it is always wrong, but you would never say that someone is wrong for their favorite color. But you would also, if you saw somebody doing
Favorite
something
color doesn't
that
cause harm to anybody. That's just a thing.
but in the other person's worldview,
If you're asking
their
me if
morality
it's wrong
says,
to unalive
no, hold on.
somebody
In
who's
the other
innocent,
person's,
I will say, yeah, that's always wrong.
in the,
Can we go to the
Even when your God does
in
it.
the other person's worldview, they don't believe that harm is a bad thing.
Yeah, they'd just be
You
wrong
do.
based on my own standards. Yeah.
Right, but you would also say that someone's wrong for saying that, in your opinion, that brown's the best color in the world, but you would never take any action to
That
change
doesn't
their
harm
mind. You wouldn't
anybody,
intervene.
though. That doesn't cause harm
The
to
other
anyone.
person doesn't believe in harm. The other person in the argument doesn't believe in harm. You have an idea of harm. What if
Yeah,
the other
unalive and
person
innocent babies is harm to the baby. Yeah. I don't see how
what
you
if
can
the other
argue
person
around that.
what if the other person thinks that you are harming them by not giving them something or not doing something for them, and that's their standard of morality? You're harming them by not giving them all of your money. Could they then take action against you because their morality says that
Yeah, but you have to
are
weigh
to
that
be good, you
against the
have to
harm
give
it's
them
causing
things.
to me to do it against my will.
No. Like this is the
Yeah.
thing. You would never take an action against anybody for any other subjective or relative decision, but when it comes to morality, you would. So that means that the type of relativity or the type of subjectiveness, it is different for you.
Yeah, I think it's always wrong to unalive innocent babies, even when your God does it.
So that's a universal claim.
It's not. It's still subjective. It's my opinion.
Always
You're not going to
is
give me
universal.
a justification for this based on the definition of justice.
Always is a universal claim. Yeah, now right, you can absolutely say that it's always
me.
wrong for you. Yeah, for you to
Yeah.
do, but it's not
Exactly.
always wrong for the other person. If their
It's wrong
morality,
when you do it, in my opinion. Yeah.
that's fine. It's wrong in your. I totally accept
I'm
that.
saying, I know
Like, that
y'all
is-
hate that. I know y'all hate that morals are subjective, but that's just how it is. Like you're never going to
But-
get.
but you're
to an
not-
objective
but you're not
moral.
holding
You've
that-
already
you're
said
not
you
holding-
can't do it.
You're not honestly holding that worldview, though. That's what I'm
I
pointing
am.
out.
Yeah,
Okay,
I am. I'm
you
not making an
believe-
exception for my morals. You are.
No, you are saying that
Yeah.
for you, it is always wrong to do X thing. For you, your subjective opinion is it's always wrong to do this in your worldview and from your point of view. But then if
Yep.
you observe someone else, their morals say, their subjective morals, who are just as valid as yours as far as
That's why I
reasoning
asked
and
you if
logic
you agree
goes,
with me. That's why I asked if you agree.
as far as
You
their
did.
as far as their logic and reasoning to come up with their own morals, they're just as justified as you. They say that this is always a good thing to do. You
Yeah, but
can
you
look
have
at that
to.
and say,
You have to show us why it is not harmful if you think it's not harmful.
the person with the
You can't say I
contrary,
think murder's great, and that's my subjective opinion. You have to show us why you're not diminishing these.
because it makes them happy, because it makes them
Standards.
happy, because they enjoy it, because they enjoy it.
Yeah,
and it
but
makes them
what
happy.
about? It's about the other person. What about them? This is when this
their morals-
morality
their
is
morals
how
don't
we
make room
treat
for other
each
people.
other. This isn't about
Their
one person.
morality-
This is about at least two.
Yeah, and their morality says that other people don't matter.
Yeah, you can say that, but you have to show
And you
that
can
by
say- you can
standards
say
that
things-
we are agreeing on. You agree
doesn't
with
agree
me.
with your
That's why I
standards.
asked if we
No.
agree.
This is the hypothetical now. Now, I know you and I are on that. I'm saying the hypothetical of someone who adopts a different set of moral values. They don't have to prove anything to you. Their
And
morals say
that's
that
what
other
makes
people
them
don't matter.
subjective.
So you can't call it wrong if it's true that they're subjective. You
I
can say that
can.
you don't agree with it. You can say that you don't agree with it.
Yeah,
But
that's
that's as
all
far as it
we'll
can
ever
go.
have. That's what I'm trying to point out to you. If you can't prove that everyone has objective morals, then you don't have objective morals. We all have our subjective experience of what we're happening. And that's just how
Okay,
it is.
so they-
That's just the
so-
reality.
So you might not agree with them. In your opinion, that it's always wrong for you and that you will never agree with their moral decisions. But could you say that the essence of what they're doing is evil? Absolutely.
Yeah,
Outside
if I
of
base it on those
No.
standards, yeah.
I'm saying outside of opinion. I'm saying because we can all have subjective opinions on things, but there is something
Yeah.
called truth. There is something
Morality
called an
is a
objective
human
truth.
concept, though. We made it up. We made it up and applied standards to it. That's
Then-
subjective.
then-
Like that's
Then
all.
nobody can ever violate it because they
They
can just
can't.
make up a new morality. Then no, because they can just make up a new morality.
They can't. You can make up in your head, but you're not going to get around the standards that we agreed on. That's why I'm saying we agreed
And that's
on
why
these things.
that's why I said, and then you said it was the ad populum fallacy. It's not. If other people got together and agreed on new morals, it is just as valid.
Well, that's fine, but you and I, that wasn't me and you. Me and you
But
is
we're not.
talking right now.
This is this. But this is a worldview problem. It's bigger than just you and I. If enough people
Yeah,
got
it
together,
involves everyone, but it's ultimately individuals. That's me and that's you.
so now you do agree that if enough people got together and they picked
No,
a
I don't
new
agree.
version of morality,
No,
then
that
you
doesn't
don't
make it
agree
right.
that we created it.
No, because it's still causing harm to that person. That's the whole point of my standard
No,
here.
but their morality
A
doesn't make
thousand
room
people
for
can agree that unaliving one is okay, but if you are violating that person's one moral standard, then you are still wrong, whether it was 1,000 people versus one or not.
So then you said if you're violating someone else's morality, it's still wrong.
Yeah, if you're violating
Okay,
the standard that we're agreeing on, yeah.
So you violate the standard of the theist moralities by saying that there is
I'm
no.
saying I have my standard, you have your standard.
But
right?
you violated.
But we agreed
You
on a
violated
standard
it.
earlier, which is weird. But I'm saying
But
I
you
have a
vi-
standard, you have a standard. Whether
But
a
if
thousand other
somebody
people
else
have a
has a-
standard don't have anything to do with my standard. But as a society, we have to get together and agree on standards that we're going to enforce.
Okay, and if the other person develops a morality that says that it is bad if somebody doesn't do X, Y, and Z for me, you would then be violating their morality, and you just said that you would be wrong for doing that.
Yeah, if it causes them harm, yeah.
No. Their harm is the fact that you didn't do any XY thing. They consider that harm in their moral worldview, and then you didn't do it. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't apply to your standards.
Yeah, that's what makes it
It's their
subjective.
standards.
Yeah.
So then your subjective standards, no matter what anybody chooses, if they say that this is morally bad, and you don't concede to their moral worldview, you are then calling yourself wrong.
What has gotten us closer in this conversation to proving morals are objective?
I'm saying that the worldview that you hold refutes itself.
No, my worldview
That's
is
the whole
subjective.
basis of it. I've already
I can change my worldview to fit what we need to talk about. You can't. You're the one claiming there's an objective standard here. You can't change
I've already
it. I
conceded.
can't.
I've already conceded that I don't believe any human can definitively or empirically prove objective morality. That's not the
They
argument.
can't.
What
That's
I'm
because
saying
they
is
don't
that-
exist. Yeah, but you're claiming
No, that's
objective
not what
morals
they
are
mean.
real, and that you have an objective standard. But I would think that if you have the subjective standard, it should actually embody those standards and not violate them constantly.
Okay, well then according to that standard, you would then carry your own burden of proof to prove moral relativity, which you can't do. Therefore, moral relativity doesn't exist. It's self-refuting again. You can't prove that logic is objectively true. So therefore, logic doesn't
I can
exist.
prove that we agreed on something. Your God
No,
violated
that's
that,
not
and you
the
still
agreement.
gave it a pass.
You just
That's
said-
what I can prove.
You just said ad populum doesn't work. So it doesn't
All
matter
right,
if we
let's
agree
start
on it
over.
or
We'll
not.
try it one more time. Is it ever okay to unalive innocent children for what someone else did? Ever?
For people, no. Humans, no.
Okay.
It's not okay.
Okay, so God gets a pass for violating the moral standard that you're putting forth for humans, right?
No, that's not the implication of that.
It absolutely is the implication. You're saying God can do whatever God wants. God ain't under our morality. So you're applying a standard to us and giving God a pass for that.
So it's not giving a pass. If God exists, if there is a
It
God,
is giving a pass. If you're not holding God accountable to that standard, you're giving it a pass. That's definitionally true. That's logic right there.
no, it's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're telling me that it's wrong if I tell my son, don't do XYZ thing. He's young, he's immature, he can't do it safely, whatever the case may be. I give him a standard and I say, hey, don't do this. But I, as an adult, I can go do that thing. Am I being evil by setting the standard and not letting my 4-year-old do everything I do?
You're setting a double standard is what you are, whether it's
No,
evil or not.
I'm
is
setting
a different question.
I'm setting a proper standard for his well-being. That doesn't mean that
Okay,
I
you're
then
saying,
have
I
to.
do this when I'm this age, so you can do it when you're that age. No, that's fair.
That doesn't mean that if I give my 4-year-old a standard or a rule that I am now subject to it.
What else did you say?
Yeah, but if you're not subject to it yourself, you're telling him to do something you're not doing yourself, which would make you a bad moral
And that
standard.
doesn't make
Like a good leadership quality is when the leader actually embodies those qualities, not when he says, do as I say and not as I do.
I can set a standard for my son that he should abide by, and I can enforce that standard that set. That doesn't mean that I then am subject to and must behave in the same manner as him, and it doesn't mean that because I don't abide by the standard that I set for him that I'm doing anything evil or wrong.
I didn't say it was evil or wrong. I said you're violating the standard that you
Okay,
set for
but
him
you're
by
saying-
not doing it
no.
yourself. So if you're giving him a different standard
No,
that you're
if I-
using, you're not
so that's what
embodying
you're
your
saying.
own standard. No, it's not. Yeah, well,
No, if
yeah.
I tell
I'm
my
saying
son-
if you think this standard is evil and God does that, but you're not calling God evil for it, you are giving God a pass on said evil.
No, here's the thing. I don't
And you are
think it's evil.
demonstrating. You are also demonstrating that you can't even tell if God is doing good or evil. So what standard do you have? You don't even know what good and evil is. If you can't tell
I
me
don't
that
think-
God is doing
So
good
hold
or
on.
God is doing evil, then
Hold
I
on.
have no reason to think you have any sort of standard to judge anything by.
So I don't think that it's evil to use a butcher knife and cut up vegetables very close to my fingers. I don't think that that's evil. I do think it's
I don't either.
bad if my 3-year-old son does it. So therefore I tell my 3-year-old son, do not touch this thing, do not do this, let me do it. I'm going to do it. I didn't set up a double standard. I set up a blanket standard that is
Well, that's
good
just
for
saying,
him.
let me do this because I'm better at it and I would rather it happen to me and not you. That's not, no, that's not the same thing.
No, it's because I am the authority figure. I'm the one who's old enough. I have enough intelligence, wisdom, knowledge of all these things
Yeah,
on how to do this thing, and I have the right to do the thing. But then when you say, "Well, God set this standard, therefore He's evil for violating it," and now you're special pleading, and He's creating this double standard. Well, it's the exact same.
No, I'm saying
principle
you
in
and
nature.
I agreed on what justice is and what violates that. And then I'm showing you where
That
your
is-
God
that
does
is
that.
our
And you're
justice.
saying, but no, that's not him. That's not accountability.
Is it safe for a 3-year-old to use a butcher knife by themselves?
It's not even safe for an adult to do it.
Is the same level of danger
I'm
or
saying
whatever?
if you
the
tell
fuck?
your child that this is evil to do this thing here, and then you do it yourself, then you are violating your own definition of what you just called evil.
No, it is unsafe for a 3-year-old to pick up a
Unsafe
butcher knife
doesn't
and
mean
play
evil,
with it.
though.
It is not unsafe for me to do it.
Well, then you have one standard and he has another because he is not at the same point than you are. It's still not the same thing. It's a false equivalency.
The standard comes from who's doing it, what are they doing, what are they capable of doing, and what are the implications of them doing that thing. If a human
Yeah, but we
being
have
takes the
standards
life
in
of another
law
human
and
being,
morality, like unaliving people who
So
are
does my
innocent of
3-year-old.
crimes is always bad.
so
You
does my
can't
3-year-old. It's
logically
always
get past
bad.
that.
It's always bad for my 3-year-old to play with a butcher knife without an adult around to stop him from doing so. That's always bad. It is not bad if I hold a butcher knife. So therefore, when you and I can both agree to that principle and that difference in my 3-year-old and me, then you say, well, it's bad for humans to then take a life. All they're doing is destroying. All they're doing is removing
Yeah,
a
I
life
understand the
causing
point that
bodily
you're
harm.
trying to make, but it
But
doesn't
then if
hold
God
up.
does it,
Because you're
but
saying
if
this
God
is
does
always
it,
evil,
it's
but
not
when
the
God
same
does
thing.
it, it's not.
It's not the same thing, because if there is a God, this is
It
where you
is.
have to step out of the
Okay,
edges.
so how would you
If
know?
there is a
How would you
God.
have any clue if God is doing something good or God is doing something evil? How would you know?
Because it's in the very nature of God that it is impossible for him to do an evil thing.
Okay, then no matter what, that's divine command theory. That's what I've been trying to get
not
you
divine-
to this
that's not
entire
divine
time.
command
You're
theory.
saying if God does it, it's good, no matter what. We have
It's
no standard
necessary
to
to
judge
the
him by.
nature.
You
it's
have just
necessary
literally
to the
taken
nature.
away every standard that we know of from this one thing.
No, it's not
Yeah.
divine command theory that God is able to do
It
things that
is.
human beings don't.
How would you know if God is doing something good or evil?
Because of the essence and nature and the necessary properties
Yeah, that's
of the
right. You're
nature of
saying
God.
he can't do evil, right?
He cannot do evil.
That's divine command theory.
I don't agree, but I think I've well proven that the
I
standards
know, but
to
it's
which
subjective.
and the reasoning, but you don't believe that.
Yeah, I do. I'm the one who's
You-
been
you
saying
just-
that this whole time. You're the one who's saying it's
You've been saying
objective.
it. You've been
But
saying
you
it,
take
but you
away
can't
the
stand on it.
subjectiveness when it applied to this other
You-
standard.
you've
That's a
been-
double
You've
standard.
been saying it, but you can't stand on it because you said that morals are what we have come together and agreed on. And I said, okay, then if people come together and agree on the completely opposite morals as you said, nope, that's ad populum. You just said that's how
Yeah,
we came
but
up with
you're
morals
only
to begin
taking
with.
yeah, but you're the one only taking that population's opinion into the equation. You're saying
The
one
population
person's
that
is
we're in
discarded by
only
the
takes
population.
ours
I'm
in.
not.
No,
I'm
the
saying there's a
population
standard here. I'm saying there's
that
a
the
standard
population
here.
that a population determined.
That's not what I'm saying.
You just said that's where morality come from. Is that a population
That's
came
how
together
we
and
get
agreed to
laws and
rules?
stuff, man. But it's
Okay,
still
and if another
subjective.
population came up with
I'm
new
saying
laws,
if we
new
agreed
standards,
on this standard for morality, then no matter, there can be 1,000 people that violate that, but they still violated our standard that we just come up with. But that's
okay,
why I'm asking you. We have to
but
agree on
but
that
they
first.
but those same 1,000 people could come up with their own morality, and now you're the
Not
violator.
after we've agreed on it.
No, you said you and I agreed, and these other people violated it. Okay,
We
now
did.
those other people,
And then you gave
okay,
God a pass for
now,
violating what you and I
no,
agreed was immoral.
I never said that the morality that you and I agreed to. I said it is always wrong for mankind to do that. Mankind is not the sovereign.
Yeah, I agree.
Mankind is not the giver and taker of life. So
I
therefore,
know.
when I
That's
said
why
that
I know
it is
that you
wrong,
can't even tell good from evil, because you can't tell me if God is doing good or evil when God does something, even though you know it's evil.
no, it's like I said, it's evil for a person to do that. That was the definition that I gave. We didn't agree
Yeah,
to
that's
that.
why it's a double
We-
standard,
you-
because you're
what
saying
your-
it's evil
what
for
your
me,
defini-
but not for that.
We just proved it. We just proved
This
it's not
is
a
an
double
evil
standard.
act that we're
Locking up
doing.
the 3-year-old
When
with
God
what's his
does
name.
this evil act, it's not evil. That makes no sense. It's illogically
Yes, it does.
incoherent. No, it don't.
Okay then. So because it's bad for my
I
2-year-old
know it
or
makes
a
sense to
3-year-old
you because you're a Christian. You've accepted this illogical premise and accepted it as logic. So we can't get you by that, but I'm trying.
Do you think that it is good for a parent to put their kid in a pack and play, a 2-year-old, and then hand them a butcher knife? Is that good?
No.
Is it good or is it bad if an adult holds that same butcher knife in their hand?
It depends.
No, is that bad for an adult to hold a butcher knife in their hand with no supervision? Is that bad?
Not on its own. You have to add more than that.
Okay, then you just set a moral standard.
It's not
a moral
bad for
double
an infant to hold a butcher knife. It's bad that what it might do with it.
No, I said, is it bad for a 2-year-old to be left unsupervised on their own with a butcher knife?
Oh, okay. So when
Is that
God
bad?
put Adam and Eve in the garden and told them not to eat this tree unsupervised, was that okay?
So you just violated the standard that you set. You
No,
just
you're the one
just
violating
agreed.
it. You just don't understand it.
You're not understanding. You just said that it's
You
bad
don't
for a
understand that
2-year-old
you're
to be.
applying the double standard here, not me.
No, I'm not. I'm telling you that
Yes,
it is
you
not a
are.
double standard. I'm telling you that it is not a double
I
standard.
know you don't think it is, but it is.
You said that if it's bad for a person to do it, but it's not bad for God to do it, therefore it's an illogical double standard, and that it's special pleading, and that it's divine command theory. Then you said that it's bad. But then you said it's bad for a 2-year-old to be by themselves with a butcher knife, but not bad for an adult
You're
to be
just
by
asking. That's
themselves with a
not
butcher
what we're
knife.
talking about. You're just making up a different hypothetical. It's a different thing. We can just talk about God, and you've already lost a while back. But I mean, we can keep going.
No, I haven't. Your
But just
worldview
coming up
refutes
with a bunch
it.
of different scenarios isn't going to get you out of divine command theory. You've already said it's evil when we do it,
Every
not when
standard,
God does
every
it.
standard that
is
you,
a
every
double standard,
standard,
sir.
every standard that you have set for God, you don't apply in other situations. That is special pleading.
No, I'm holding God to the standards that I know is moral or immoral. That's not what you're doing.
But we just agreed that one
We
person being
agreed
held to a
unaliving
standard
innocent babies is evil. But
for
when
people,
your God does it,
for
I'm saying
people,
it's still
for
evil.
humans.
You're saying it's not.
I said for people, but then you agreed that if one person is subject to a certain
Yeah,
set
for
of
people.
parameters,
That's why it's
that doesn't.
special pleading. That's the definition of special pleading fallacy. You are making an exception to
Okay,
the
then.
rule
So
for
now,
something
so
that's
now
not
you're
right.
flip flopping. Now you're flip flopping, and now you have to say that it's if it's wrong for a 2-year-old to have the butcher knife, it's special pleading that it's not dangerous for the adult to
I'm
have
not talking about 2-year-olds. I'm talking about your God doing
It's just-
stuff
you-
that you have said
you
is
can't-
evil if we do it, but not when God does it.
You can't be consistent with any standard you set, but I'm gonna
I'm the
hop
only
off.
one being consistent here. You're not.
If you're on later, I'll jump on. I do appreciate it.
I might
It was
be. I'll
cordial.
be back on tomorrow though.
Yeah, I've seen you before. I've just never jumped on. I do appreciate the conversation.
cool.
It was cordial. I know it gets
Yeah, back at you,
animated
bro.
and stuff. Yeah,
No,
but
that's what I
appreciate it.
like. You're exactly the kind of person I like to talk to, man. We can have like
Oh, great.
strong opposition idea wise, but we can still just talk about it. Like,
Yeah,
to me,
no,
this
absolutely.
is advancing humanity right here. So good
I
job,
do
sir.
agree with that. I agree with that. I appreciate your time, brother.
Back at you, dog.
Take it easy, man.
Have a good one. I'll drop him back there. All right, so that was Sojourner Apologetics there. Thank you for the likes, the follows, the screen taps, the shares. Every time I do one of these, my audience seems to get a lot bigger. I'm getting a lot of different crazy messages right now randomly, but whatever. All right, so I've really only got about 10 more minutes. Let me see who's even in the quick here. Holy crap, we got like 6 people in the queue here. Okay, so I do see one that I'm going to bring up here. But I don't have super long, so hopefully we can get to a point. But this guy, I'm seeing somebody here with 148,000 followers. So that sounds pretty neat, don't it? All right, so we're going to bring up Sons of God. And real quick, we'll see what they say. Maybe I'll stretch it out a tad, but we'll see. They might not even still be here. I don't know. Oh, he is still here. All right, loading in Sons of God.
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
What's up, man? You're over 18, ain't you?
Say that one more time.
You're over 18?
Oh yeah, absolutely. 31 here.
Awesome. And I'm assuming you're a Christian, right?
yeah. I completely agree with you that the moral standards of what God holds is the moral standards of what mankind should hold, as it is. So I completely agree. Now, what I would tell you is this, is that there were 2 priesthoods in the Bible. You had the Melchizedek order and the Levitical priesthood. You had a priesthood under Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and you had another priesthood under Moses. Moses's priesthood with the law was actually a priesthood of pretty much genocide. All right?
Well, just to be clear, which one of these are we talking about here?
Well, the genocide priesthood, the law of Moses, was actually the immoral one. All right?
Oh. So we're talking about God being evil?
That was the God Yahweh.
Oh.
That's the adopted son of El Elyon, according to the pantheon of the Canaanites, which actually goes back to the Melchizedek order. All right?
Right.
So if we look at Matthew 8, verse 11 and 12, Jesus says that many would come from east and west and sit down with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. Yet the children of the kingdom will be cast out where there is weeping and gnashing of teeth. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob came from the Melchizedek order. The children of the kingdom who would be cast out were those under the law of Moses. This is why Jesus Christ sat there and said, "You have heard it said, eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth, but I say unto you, love your enemies." He was coming directly against the law of Moses. In actual reality.
That's a direct violation of what God says, too.
Well, you can show me where that is in the Bible.
I will.
Actually.
I certainly will.
All right. My name's Joshua, by the way. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, man. I'm Jesse.
All right, Jesse.
Deuteronomy.
Jesse, the root and offspring of King David.
Yeah. It means God exists, which is ironic since I'm up here arguing every day that God doesn't exist.
Well, we'll see how this works out.
Yep, these are Deuteronomy 12. These are the statutes and ordinances that you must diligently observe in the land that the Lord your God, the God of your ancestors, have given you to occupy for all the days you live on the earth. And then down here, it says these laws are not to be changed or added to.
Right.
So let's not do this.
So Deuteronomy was the law of Moses. All right.
This is the law of God. God's given this to Moses.
Well, that's Yahweh. That's Yahweh. That's actually
what. Well, who's your God? Who are you talking about?
El Elyon was the Most High God.
So you don't think Yahweh is the one and only God?
No. Yeah, Yahweh.
Okay, so that's a little different. Sorry, that's my bad.
Yeah. This is according to the Canaanites. You see, in the Canaanite. Jesus came from a Canaanite pantheon. He was the son of El Elyon. He was actually Baal. Jesus was actually a representation of Baal in the story.
Okay, so when Jesus says he's fulfilling the laws and the prophets, and not one stroke of a letter will pass from the law, what law is he talking about there?
He's talking about the covenant of sin and death, which is the law of Moses. Isaiah 20.
Well, he's saying to keep that, though.
He's telling the people under that law to keep it until it's fulfilled. He will fulfill that message. So he's breaking them.
Yeah, but
free
it says
from
it
those chains.
won't be fulfilled until heaven and earth pass away.
Right. And according to the Jew, heaven and earth was their temple. That was their temple. If you go to Psalms 102, you'll see this. All right. So what happens is that when Jesus says he came to fulfill the law and not destroy it, you got to remember he's coming to people that think the law of Moses is something good. Jesus is telling them straight up, you have heard it said, eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth, but I see unto you love your enemies. He's telling them that Yahweh will actually not pour rain on someone that's cursed against the law, but Jesus says the rain falls upon the just as well as the unjust. So he's coming directly against Moses. Moses is the accuser of the brethren in the eyes of Christ. Moses was actually a representation of the children of the kingdom that would be cast out, whereas Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who were under the Melchizedek order, will be brought into the kingdom. This is in the Bible. And what it's showing you is Jesus was not a Jew by what they think. Jesus was a Canaanite who was a part of the bloodline lineage of Melchizedek. All right?
So he wasn't from the line of David.
David married a woman named Bathsheba. Bathsheba was a Canaanite. This was the uniting between Jew and Gentile, or Jew and Canaanite. All right? So what happens is in the bloodline of Christ in Matthew 1, it says that there's 4 women that are mentioned: Ruth, Rahab, Tamar, and Bathsheba. All 4 of them are Gentiles or Canaanites. All right? The Canaanites, this goes into the order of Melchizedek. You see, even before the law of Moses ever came about, 600 years prior to this, you had the Melchizedek order where Yahweh, so this is the history behind it.
Jesus seems to be backing up Moses in Mark 7 here. He's chastising the Pharisees for not keeping the law of Moses.
Go ahead and say what he said.
He says, then he said to them, you have a fine way of rejecting the commandment of God in order to keep your own tradition. For Moses said, honor your father and your mother, and whoever speaks evil of a father and mother must surely unalive. But you say that if anyone tells a father or mother, whatever support you had from me is korban, that is, an offering to God, then you no longer permit doing anything for a father or mother. So he's chastising them here for not keeping the law of Moses.
So if you read verse 13 and 14 of Mark chapter 7, read verse 13 and 14.
Yeah, it says, thus nullifying the word of God through your own tradition that you have handed on, and you do many things like this.
You take the word of God and you make it none effect through your own traditions. Okay?
Yeah, he's saying they were abandoning the law of Moses. He's chastising them for it.
The law of Moses wasn't about it. And you see, you have a physical context and a spiritual context. All right? The physical context of unaliving people, that came directly against the nature and the law of God, in actual reality, and of El Elyon. They weren't supposed to be unaliving people. The unaliving of people was never supposed to take place. This is
so
what
you don't think it was, you saying it was Yahweh who did all, what did El do in the book here? What was his role?
Yeah. So El Elyon was the Most High over all 70 deity in the canon. El Elyon being the Most High, he had a son named Baal. Baal had a consort, a royal consort known as a Nath. And then Yahweh was an adopted son into the pantheon of El. There's actually a historical reference for this. If you've ever heard about the Shasu Israelite people, the Shasu Israelites were a people from the southern desert Arabah region. And in the southern desert Arabah region, they had a lack of food, resources, and shelter. What happens is they went to the people up in the north. And up in the north, there were people called the northern Canaanites of El Elyon. What happened was when the southern tribes went up and they wanted food, resources, and whatnot, they told them that we will make your God. We will bring you in with food resources as long as you take your God Yahweh. The Shasu Israels take their God Yahweh and they adopt them into the pantheon of El Elyon.
So, well, you're saying it wasn't El, the one you're worshiping, right? The one did what? What was El's role in like David and Bathsheba's infant son being unalived?
Yeah. So Elyon, there was an entire fight between the priesthoods all throughout the Bible, between the Melchizedek order and the Levitical priesthood. The Levitical priesthood was known to unalive people. This was the role of Moses, unaliving those of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
So who's given the prophecy of like the new covenant in Jeremiah 31, for example? I'm trying to figure out which God's doing which is what you're talking about.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, beautiful.
So which God was that? Who's giving all these prophecies to like Jeremiah and Isaiah?
Yeah, so the new covenant is not a new covenant. The new covenant goes back to the Melchizedek order. All right? The new covenant was
not new in the sense it's old now, but I mean it was new at the time, right?
Right. It was new to the people of the Levitical priesthood, but it went back to the ancients of
Okay, so who's given that prophecy in Jeremiah?
It's supposed El is actually giving El is actually talking, and Jeremiah says in chapter 8 of verse 8, he says the law of Yahweh was given in vain. He said the scribes had taken it and translated it.
Well, yeah, because it's just saying they kept keeping the law, though. That's what God was so mad about. That's why he punished them and made a new covenant ultimately.
Well, it wasn't about unaliving people, though. It wasn't about...
What I'm really trying to figure out here, like in chapter 33, it says the Levitic priests are going to make sacrifices for all time, forever. So was that Yahweh saying that or El saying that to you?
Yeah. So when it talks about the sacrifices being made for all time, it's talking about the sacrifice as an atonement for those under the Levitical priesthood for all time. You see, Jesus dying on the
cross. So who's given that prophecy?
Yeah, that's El. That's El because of the people under the Levitical
so that's El saying the Levitic priests are going to make sacrifices for all time, right?
No. It's saying that Christ would make a sacrifice for all time. Once Christ would... You see, Jesus' blood wasn't necessary. Yes. Jesus' blood wasn't even necessary.
Let's talk about Jesus, man.
Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob already knew the prophecy coming forward. You see, Abraham was given a vision in Genesis chapter 15. That is his family would go into captivity for 430 years, and they would start a priesthood that was actually wicked and evil. Can you go to Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 21 to 23?
Sure.
I want to show you something here. All right.
You did say 7, didn't you?
Yep. Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 21 to 23.
All right. So, thus says the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel. That's El or Yahweh?
That's El. Okay. Israel.
Thus says the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, and your burnt offerings to your sacrifices, and eat the flesh. For in the day that I brought your ancestors out of the land of Egypt, I did not speak to them or command them concerning burnt offerings and sacrifices. But this command I gave them: obey my voice, and I will be your God, and you shall be my people. Walk only in the way that I command you, so that it may be well with you. Yet they did not obey or incline in their ear, but the stubbornness of their evil will. They walked in their own counsel and looked backward rather than forward.
Yeah. So now...
That's what you're talking about?
Yeah. So the burnt offerings and sacrifices, God never commanded. You see, this was given once the golden calf was set up. You see, when Moses went up the mountain in Exodus 19, God told Israel to come up to the mountain with him. Israel said, no, Moses, you go up to the mountain. Moses comes back down, they're worshiping the golden calf. And when they worship the golden calf, they're put under a delusion of covenant sacrifice, where they think the only way they can please God is with literal animal sacrifice, literal things that are going on.
Trod, thank you so much.
All right. So what occurs is when Jesus comes along, when the prophets are speaking, they're telling Israel that you guys are under delusion, and here's the ultimate reality of the truth. He tells them you're worshiping your father, the devil. John 8:44 says, you are of your father, the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. He also says in John 8 that
well, sure, I hear you, but I'm not sure what we're debating. I'm trying to figure out a debatable point here.
Oh, okay. So
this just sounds more like we're having a Bible study or something.
Well, basically, what I would tell you is this: is that with the last gentleman, you said that because the guy was wrong. Sojourner's apologetics, when he sat there and said if God is able to unalive someone, humanity shouldn't be able to. That's completely wrong. That's completely twisted.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
It's fucked up to sit there and think something like that because we are held to the same standards. But God isn't some guy.
Amen,
that sits
brother.
On a throne, all right, God's not some guy that sits on a throne that judges over humanity. In actual reality, we are in this understanding, this response. I am a deist, and I believe everything that comes out of our mouth, everything we think, everything that we understand, is a direct projection of the way this world operates. In other words.
Oh, so you're not a Christian?
Well, I'm a believer in the words of Christ as it is, but I've
well,
studied.
let's do this one then. What prophecy did Jesus fulfill?
Yeah, beautiful. So let's go ahead and look at this. So basically, Jesus the Christ never came to actually set up a literal throne of David. You see, I'm also what you call a preterist. Okay, have you ever heard of that, preterism?
Yeah.
Fulfilled eschatology, 70 AD?
Yeah.
Okay. I believe that everything was fulfilled in the first century church. There's no way that you can go past the words of the Apostle Paul or James or Peter and sit there and say they weren't living in the last days. All right. No, this isn't a part of another denomination. 28,000 different denominations out there. Not one teaches it. All right. Not one teaches preterism. Okay. So
yeah, you do sound a little different than most stuff I've heard. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not sure I'll throw you in a certain category just yet.
Yeah, I'm more.
You
of a
ain't got no video cooking me, Transcendence. That's hilarious. You got roasted here today, buddy. I made sure that happened. I don't want to watch your video though. You came up here and talked. Why would I go watch your video when you just come up here and made your fool out of yourself?
Oh, Transcendence.
He put an AI video up against me. It was AI. Like, come on, man. Like, it was literally like a British robot voice. But
oh my god, he couldn't even speak himself. This goes to show you how unsure people are.
But he came back today, and I made sure that we pressed it home today that he didn't know what he was talking about. So I feel like I thoroughly roasted him today, whereas yesterday I kind of let him off pretty easy. So.
Yeah, man. So yeah, but, I'm what you consider a preterist Gnostic. I'm a preterist Gnostic, all right? I believe everything was fulfilled already in the first century. We're not even saved by blood, dude. We're not saved by blood of Jesus Christ. That was to cleanse the conscience of those under the Levitical priesthood because they were under animal sacrifice. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, okay, so it's coming together for me now. So we can have some great conversations. I don't know if we necessarily got a good debate here, but I'm kind of running real short on time anyway. So,
I got you, Justin.
Yeah, if you could, like, jump back on, like, I'm usually on in the mornings like this, if I can be. But, yeah, we'll have to figure out, like, an actual debatable point or just kind of set together. Maybe we can do some kind of weird discussion on it.
Absolutely.
Without a debate format, I guess.
Absolutely, man. I get into like a bunch of other stuff, man. Like manifestation.
Yeah, you're saying really interesting things. I'm interested in what you're saying, but I don't know what to debate you on.
I get it, man. I get it. I just made sure to follow you. All right, we'll have a conversation.
Oh, thank you.
Man.
Yeah, I'll throw you one back. Yeah,
absolutely,
awesome.
Brother. Absolutely, man.
Awesome,
you see that this is what life's about, man. Even though you disagree on stuff or whatever. It's about talking these things out. We can have a civil conversation.
Yes.
I don't believe in hell either, by the way. All right? I just want to throw that out there, too. I don't believe in a place of eternal torment. All right?
Yeah, so here's this is, I totally agree, sons of God. Thank you. But this is the hard truth. Whether we agree or not with each other, we have to live with each other. So we might as well just fucking talk about it and see if we can get somewhere. If not, we don't. But why not fucking try? You know what I mean? Like,
you got
the crazy dude from before, he might be my neighbor down here. He's voting. You know what I mean? Like, he's voting in the same country I live in.
Right,
so we have to be here with each other no matter what. So let's just talk about it, man. Just be cool. Like, let's figure it out.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. I like your shirt, by the way. Like the Bob Ross. All right?
Thank you. I haven't worn this in a while, but it looks spacey and shit.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. So, but Jesse, it was nice meeting you, man. I look forward to talking to you some more, man. Like I said, I made sure to follow you and
back at you, sir. I like the stuff you're talking about. I just can't figure out. This is more of a debate thing, and I just don't even understand what we would be debating right now. So I don't know.
yeah. I
don't know what to do. So
I get it, brother. Bless you, man. Have yourself a good one. All right, my friend.
Yeah, back at you, man. Back at you. Thanks for coming up, Sons of God. He's got 150,000 followers nearly, and that's pretty fucking awesome. I haven't got 500 yet. I am on the way, though. I am on the way. Every time I have these lives, my viewership goes up. The amount of what are the likes, hearts, whatever they are up there, they go up. Like, it's all cool. So I feel like I'm moving in a good direction here. Plus, I think a lot of the people here, I've gotten messages from folks that have been watching me and stuff, like just telling me it's cool that I'm able to have civil conversations and shit like that. And that's kind of what I'm going for here. Like, as long as someone's actually capable of having the conversation, I do not care what you say. You can say whatever you want about me. I'm stoic enough. I don't care. I've heard it a billion fucking times. Like, it's not going to bother me. But just have the conversation, man. Like, no matter how opposed our ideals are, let's at least try to figure it out. If we can't get anywhere, then we're not going to get anywhere. But why do it and say you didn't try it, man? Like, what is it? What is that shit Yoda says? There's something, there is no try. Do or do not, there is no try. Like, we have to try, you know what I mean? But I just enjoy having these discussions. If we're up here proving somebody's wrong, making them look like the idiot they are, then that's fun. That's enjoyable. But it could happen to me. That's the risk I'm taking by being up here as well. Like, if I'm wrong, come show me. You know what I mean? Like, I'll admit I'm wrong. I'm wrong all the fucking time. Like, I don't even care. I'll be like, yeah, my bad. I was wrong. Let's move on to something else here. Transcendence, I'm sure you did. I am just not interested, unfortunately. If anybody else wants to go watch this video, y'all go watch it. But I think he got a nice thorough cooking here today as it was. Okay, never mind. whatever their transcendence. Oh shit, thank you, Transcendence. Yeah, I'm sure you're fine. Like, I don't know. I think you got a lot more work to do to address the actual point of the arguments being made here. Like, you can't show me a prophecy by Jeremiah by talking about the Exodus. It's just, I don't know. I don't even understand where that's coming from in your mind, but I really appreciate the follow and stuff there. And I appreciate the videos and stuff, but just come back here sometime and we'll try again. Especially now that I feel like I've had my say there this time around, so that's pretty nice. But anyway, guys, I reckon it's time for me to start the regular normal bullshit of a day I got to do with regular shit. So if y'all want, check out Hey, there was like 4 people who agreed with you, Transcendent. So if there's any chance those 4 people are still around, y'all go look at the stuff. So don't want to see them, sure. I mean, if the people watching who think I cooked, you probably don't care to see it. But there was people who agreed with you. So that would be, y'all go check that out. If you're still listening, you're one of the ones that agree with Transcendence. I just don't understand how the Exodus is going to explain Jeremiah, because Jeremiah's, it's about the Babylonian captivity. It don't have anything to do with the Exodus. It's like saying that's way long gone. This is a long time after the Exodus, like damn near 1,000 years, depending on when you think the Exodus is. But it's almost 1,000 years later, so it's pretty wild to think about, ain't it? Really. Anyway. Thank you again, everybody, so much. All the gifts, all the likes, all the screen taps. Damn it, that makes me feel good. It really just makes my fucking day, man. It really just makes my day. And I like that there's Christians. I love, actually, that there's people agreeing with Transcendence, too, because I know that tells me that we have a mixed viewership in here. So it's not just one-sided. And I like that. That makes me feel like I'm moving in the direction that I wanted this channel to originally go in. And that's bringing people together more than we're actually dividing them, even though we're arguing about very contentious ideals, you know what I'm saying? So throw me a little respect for that, if you will, please. But that's about it. Anyway, all right, guys. We will see y'all at latest tomorrow morning, I guess. I don't know. If I get to work and I'm really bored, I might come back and throw another live stream up. I mean, what a vigorous day it's been. What a vigorous day it's been. Pretty wild, right? There's 3 people still in the queue. I wish I had time to get to you all, but please come back. I do these lives every single day if I can. Sometimes it don't work out, but I'm usually here. I just don't have time to go into a deeper conversation right now. But thank you all, and please come back. I would love to have you up. I would love for you to come up and say, I like for people to leave feeling like they got to say what they wanted to say. So Let me put it that way. But anyway, thank you guys so much for coming. I will be back.